Dark, there's a little bit of a chill in the air, and Manchester United, who have Casemiro back on the bench today, and also Lisandro Martinez, what an important player he is for Erik ten Hag, but not yet Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. So the Manchester United team, Onana in goal before he goes off with Cameroon, then Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Evans and Dalot, Menu, Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, Rashford and Højlund, and the Manchester United supporters just booing because the Tottenham players have come into this corner closest to their fans for their huddle. So Timo Werner makes his debut from the start. Here he is, Tottenham's new number 16 on loan from RB Leipzig. All white kit for Tottenham, black gloves on, and he just walks little steps up to the halfway line.
John, I wanted to tell you during the warm-up, and they are starting like that. Wan-Bissaka was at left back, and that's how they started with Dalot at right back.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I did see it. It is interesting. Is that to stop the threat of Johnson, or is it for Dalot to stop the threat of Timo Werner?
Well,
interesting one, isn't it?
That is an interesting choice. Yeah. We weren't expecting that, were we?
No.
As Manchester United kick off, John Brooks blows the whistle. Manchester United against Tottenham. This is 5 Live Premier League Sunday and the World Service. We're live as well on BBC Sounds. The ball played back to Vicario, who gets the ball onto his left foot and clears it towards the halfway line. So that is interesting. Dalot at right back and Wan-Bissaka at left back. I'm trying to think the last time I saw Wan-Bissaka play as a left back.
I've never seen
struggling.
him. I've watched him for years at Palace, and then when he came to Man United, he's never played left back. So it'd be interesting. I think it's to stop the threat of Johnson for sure.
And it is Werner on the left, Johnson on the right for Tottenham. Manchester United on the attack, down the left-hand side. The ball played for Wan-Bissaka from Rashford, but just overhit. It was actually well watched by Pedro Porro as well, who went with the run-out Wan-Bissaka and managed to see the ball over the dead ball line for a goal kick. So Tottenham with Vicario in goal, who's done so well in his first season in the Premier League. And then at the back, Pedro Porro, Christian Romero and Mickey van der Ven are back, both of them after spells out injured. And Udogie at left back, Bentancur, Skip and Højbjerg, so the three-man midfield with Højbjerg playing as the man in the middle in front of the defence, and Skip and Bentancur further forward. And then, as we've said, Johnson on the right, Brennan Johnson, Werner on the left, and Richarlison through the middle. The informed Richarlison, Clinton. Yes. 5 goals in his last 6 appearances.
Yeah, he's been good. A lot of people doubting him, but he's scoring goals at the minute.
Well, Van der Ven arrives at pace in on the challenge with Bruno Fernandes, who was stretching for this. The ball was played out to him by Dalot, and Van der Ven arrived at some rate, and actually he's won the free kick for caught Bruno Fernandes unawares.
This is his first game back, so he weren't holding back, was he, John?
He was not. So he's back, the number 37, not played in the last 10 matches, so it's been a lengthy spell out with his hamstring injuries. A lot of hamstring injuries, a lot of illness about. That's why Kulusevski is not involved. Richarlison, that's a nice little ball to the right-hand side. Overcomes the cross, but caught by Onana quite comfortably, just a couple of steps forward, plucked the ball out of the air. Bruno Fernandes now in centre field. Here's the pass through to Rashford. Not scored at Old Trafford yet this season. Rashford on his right foot, still going, and it almost opened up. Udogie came in. Oh, not a goal! Højlund took it on, and he flashed a left foot shot. Rasmus Højlund, what a finish that is! It flew into the top corner. It looked like it was going to fall for Rashford, but no, instead Højlund, and it's Manchester United 1, Tottenham 0, and that is just the start, certainly, that Erik ten Hag wanted. And smiling up in the director's box, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, a Manchester United goal within 3 minutes of him taking his seat.
It's a great goal. To be fair, I would have been critical of Rashford because I thought he had the half a yard, but when it came into Tottenham, don't deal with it, and then it comes to Højlund, and it's a fantastic finish. But it's a great break. Onana throws the ball out to Garnacho, and Bruno Fernandes plays a brilliant ball to Marcus Rashford, who is onside, and Pedro Porro can't get back because Tottenham fullbacks are high. And when it comes to Højlund, the finish is outstanding, John, right into the roof of the net. Vicario's got no chance. He just shifts it and shifts it. And you know the one thing I don't like with defenders, you know, they put their arms behind their back. Romero, go and engage it. He's backing up, but the finish from Højlund, fantastic finish.
Goodness me, that flew into the roof of the net, right in the top corner from the fair-haired Dane. He had to wait a while, didn't he, for his first Premier League goal for Manchester United. Rasmus Højlund, the 20-year-old. It eventually came that winner against Aston Villa in the previous home match. So now that is 2 home matches for Manchester United. Didn't play at the City Ground, he was ill, missed that match. So 2 matches here, 2 goals, and he's taken both of them brilliantly, I must say.
It's a great finish. It's a fantastic finish, because the last game in the FA Cup against Wigan, he missed a lot of chances. He could have been low on confidence. Fantastic finish from Højlund.
The celebration wasn't quite as frenzied, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Against Aston Villa. I thought he was going to cry. I nearly cried.
Yeah, I did for him.
It was certainly emotional, but what a start. Manchester United 1, Tottenham 0. Clinton Morrison with me, Premier League goal scorer, Republic of Ireland international. Clinton promised you goals, and look what happens. We've got one within 3 minutes.
There'll be a lot more as well, John. I'm saying this game's super open at the moment.
Tottenham are attacking. Already Ange Postecoglou's side. Early setback here. It was a great day for him and for Tottenham earlier in the season when Spurs won 2-0 against Manchester United. That was his first home match in the Premier League, in a competitive match as the manager of Tottenham. And they won that by 2-0. And really, it was an intention of what was to come. Corner then. In it comes towards the near post, which is headed away by Varane. It comes out for Udogie, who's on his left foot. He was a little unfortunate, Udogie, with the conceding of the goal, that he came across, put the challenge in on Rashford, and the ball fell straight to Højlund.
You're spot on. He's been Tottenham's best defender while Romero and Van der Ven have been out. He can defend. He's got the pace, but you are right. He's the only one who could get back at Rashford, and he did cover, but once it come to Højlund, fantastic.
Well, I was very fortunate to be at St James's Park last night. Already a goal in this match after that exciting game that we witnessed there between Newcastle and Manchester City, and Manchester United defending. But out comes the ball to the goal scorer, Højlund, as he slips, plays a pass out to Garnacho on the right-hand side. One of them few Manchester United form men. Garnacho carries it, gives it to Dalot, whose cross hits Udogie and bounces up and behind for a corner to the home side.
One thing Werner has to do, he has to get back and help out his fullback there. He's left him 2-on-1. Dalot's run past him. So for all they brought him in to go forward, he has to do his defensive duties.
Yes, Ange Postecoglou will have taken note of that, I expect, as he stands watching on the edge of the coaching area. But we'll see how he develops over the course of the next 6 months. It is with a view to a permanent deal, but currently on loan, Werner. So corner, Eriksson to take this from the right hand side. The other new arrival for Tottenham, Radu Dragoshin, is among the substitutes, and that of course is with Van der Ven and Romero, the established pair, being fit again. Corner then. The assistant just waited, just stepped in front of Eriksson, but now Eriksson can take this corner deep towards the back post. It's gone all the way to Rashford, who places it right across the 6-yard box. It was a sort of cushioned volley through a crowd of players, but beyond the far post as he looked at it.
Yeah, you can see it's well worked, and Rashford, he gets the space and he tries to guide it with the instep, but yeah, it goes wide of the post.
I thought Rashford in the build-up to the goal, and as Clinton mentioned, Bruno Fernandes with a pass that sent Rashford away. He's not scored in his last 14 Manchester United appearances.
John, that
here
looked
at Old Trafford.
That looked like a player who hadn't, because once he shifted, he should just get his shot away.
But I did think, rather like the goal that he scored for England against Italy, I just thought that was going to open up just as it did on that day. But in fact, Udogie came across, and who was the beneficiary? Rasmus Højlund, who is now Manchester United's top scorer this season on his own. 7 goals in all competitions, 5 in the Champions League, and now 2 in the Premier League. What a relief. The goals are beginning to come for this impressive Dane. Tottenham. Johnson is tackled well by Wan-Bissaka, and now Manchester United come again. Bruno Fernandes has appeared on the left-hand side, cutting infield. The Manchester United captain lifts it over the top, but that will be beyond either Garnacho or Højlund, and Vicario is able to clutch the ball, give it out quickly to Udogie. Up to the halfway line he comes, plays it back to Højbjerg, crossfield pass from Højbjerg. Pedro Porro takes this up. Pedro Porro to the edge of the area, shoots, it's deflected, but Onana's able to go down to his left and just catch the ball into his chest. I thought he was going to do a Burnley again.
I was
Porro.
there. I was there. What a strike it was! But if you give him that much time, he can hit a great ball. And that, you know what it is, John? Their fullbacks get into so much high areas, Tottenham. So yeah, there's more goals. There's definitely more goals in this game.
Yeah, that was a terrific goal. Yes, I was listening to you that night with Connor, weren't you?
Yeah,
with Connor McNamara.
The game needed it. It did need it, John.
It did need it. But you saw what we thought was going to be the goal of the round until Patrick Bamford.
I know, that was amazing.
That was a super goal, that, wasn't it? So Manchester United leading Tottenham by 1-0. Rasmus Højlund, you need to see that one on Match of the Day as well tonight. Whoa, he hit that brilliantly. Højlund. Here come Manchester United again. Bruno Fernandes to Garnacho. Garnacho now attacking the penalty area. He got 2 goals in the match against Aston Villa. Plays the ball to the edge of the box just as the challenge came in. And as a result, he conceded possession, passed it straight to Spurs, who were able to take it in front of their own penalty area. Yeah,
he's got the space to go outside him, Garnacho, but I don't think he thinks he can beat Ndogi in a one-on-one. So he came back into danger. Good defending from Ndogi there.
Yep. Alejandro Garnacho is now taking his position again in front of Werner. Richarlison 25 yards out. He has Bentancur to the corner of the penalty area. Brennan Johnson, he lifts it in towards the back post. Werner with a header, it comes off a Manchester United head, and that glanced it wide. Well, big chance, first chance for Werner. There wasn't a lot of pace on the cross, which was probably a problem for Werner.
Yeah, I think he was trying to put it back into an area to Richarlison. It takes a deflection, and you're thinking Onana was going to be wrong-footed, because you're right, John, there wasn't enough pace to beat Onana with that header. But they look a threat, Tottenham, on that right-hand side.
Came off the head of Johnny Evans, which took it wide for a Tottenham corner from the right flank. So Spurs with a set piece here. Manchester United 1 up. Here comes the ball into the near post. It's headed right across the face of goal by Bentancur, and then cleared off the line by Dalot. Not sure it was going in, but he cleared it away inside the 6-yard box. Ball back to the right-hand side. And Johnson with the cross. That comes off the defender, bounces in the air. Bruno Fernandes it is who chased it, volleyed it away, stopped it from going out for a corner, but he's kept the ball in play and given it back to Tottenham. Skip. Now Werner on the left-hand side. And Dalot goes down, puts in the challenge. Applause for that from Diogo Dalot. Excellent defending, excellent tackle on Timo Werner. Now Udogie up to the edge of the box to Johnson. It's bounced forward towards Werner, who's in an offside position. He knew it. And so Richarlison steps in and actually plays it off Dalot, and the ball spins behind for another Tottenham corner.
Yeah, Werner was clever. He was offside. You were right, John. He let it go, and Richarlison just got his body there, and Dalot managed to clear it for a corner.
So from the left-hand side, Brennan Johnson, there was a thought that he might miss out today if Kulusevski had been fit and well and able to play, whether Johnson would have made way for Werner. You're not so sure, Clinton, but anyway, he's on the field, or he's just off the field now, taking the corner. Johnson into the edge of the 6-yard box, is stretching away by Wan-Bissaka, and then it is won back by Tottenham by Skip. Did well there against Garnacho, the two of them arriving at the same point. But the offside flag then comes, and it's a free kick to Manchester United at the back. So we've had 12 lively minutes, Clinton Morrison, haven't we?
Very much so. Obviously Tottenham, Brennan Johnson's causing problems. It's good battle between him and Wan-Bissaka. Need to get Timo Werner and probably Richarlison into the game more, but Bentancur's the one, I think, out of the midfielders, he's going to have to be the one to go and create stuff, and as we know, Tottenham's fullbacks are so important.
Manchester United 1, Tottenham 0. 5 Live on this latest Premier League Sunday, and the World Service listeners joining us from around the globe as well. I'm sure many World Service listeners will be tuned into the Africa Cup of Nations too. Garnacho way down the right-hand side, but Udogie is able to get back well, actually. I thought Garnacho was past him, but Udogie recovered, put the challenge in.
For me, he's been the best left-back in the Premier League for me this season. Even when Garnacho there gets the half a yard on him, his recovery is ridiculous. What a player he is, by the way.
His energy is extraordinary.
That's what it is. It's the energy, John.
He's up and down
non-stop
the field. He's conceded the corner here, but actually it was well defended. So Manchester United corner that Ericsson is waiting to take. They used to love him up there, didn't they, the Tottenham fans, probably 2,000 of them looking down on Christian Eriksen, played for them in the Champions League final. And Eriksen raises his left arm, and Eriksen curls the corner to the near post. That's headed down and away by Bentancur for Tottenham. Oliver Skipp is chasing this, but Mainoo does well. Calm, composed piece of play from the youngster, the teenager, Kobbie Mainoo. And then Romero forward to the right-hand side. Brennan Johnson wins the throw-in on the halfway line as the challenge came in from Bruno Fernandes. Throw-in is taken quickly, and then Bruno Fernandes in with a challenge on Johnson. That is a free kick.
That was a good race, Skip and Mainoo, wasn't it? It wasn't rapid, but it was a very good race, that was.
Yeah, just in front of Ange Postecoglou. Oliver Skipp, who Ange Postecoglou seems to like the look of. Skipping, as they call him. It's not an original thought, but it's always amused me that the Australian manager has a player called Skippy. Here's Van de Ven. Van de Ven back to goalkeeper Vicario. Another contender for Tottenham's player of the season. This goalkeeper they signed from
been
Italy.
Excellent, John. No one can say they knew a lot about him because they didn't, but they definitely know about him now. I think he's so confident on the ball and a good shot stopper.
Yes, I was listening to 5 Live on Friday night, and the discussion was a team of the first half of the season, and Glenn Murray went for Vicario ahead of Alisson.
Yeah, I had him in my team of the season. Yeah, I put him in. It was listen, you can pick Alisson all the time, but I think he's adapted to life in the Premier League brilliantly. Well,
you'll be listening to Liverpool this time next week if you're with us on 5 Live in the World Service. So half of the teams playing next weekend, and the other half will have this break. At least those not involved in cup replays. Manchester United with Rashford into the penalty area, pulls it back, but defenders were in there, 2-3 of them, and it was blocked behind. And it is a corner to Manchester United from the left-hand side this time. So it's going to be Bruno Fernandes who calls for the ball. Manchester United. Rashford goes across there with Bruno Fernandes. The supporters in that corner of Old Trafford on their feet, applauding the captain and Rashford as well. I think there is the option to take it short, but it looks as though Bruno Fernandes is going to swing this in, which he does, to the near post. It's headed away by Van de Ven, who got up above everyone else in amongst a cluster of bodies. Comes back to Wan-Bissaka on the halfway line, who turns and passes it back to Onana, who's only about 15 yards behind him. And now ball forward from the goalkeeper to Bruno Fernandes, who gets it down, plays it across. It was blocked up in the air by Romero and then cleared away by
Let me tell you something, John. He did not know where he was, because the pace he put on that back to Onana, he's lucky he's got a goalkeeper who's good with his feet, because Wan-Bissaka didn't know he was that close to him. He didn't check his shoulders at all.
Manchester United with the early goal. That hasn't happened too often. In fact, Manchester United have not led at all at Old Trafford in the Premier League at half-time this season. Amazing that, isn't it?
Yeah, that is amazing.
They've got a chance today though. But Tottenham in their own defensive third. Werner asked quite a lot of Van de Ven as he played it back in field. Then the ball bounces back to Vicario, who comes in and catches it as it bounces up above his head. The young goal scorer just near at hand. I did wonder when the games kept ticking over for Højlund without a goal in the Premier League. You know, you get to 3, 4, 5, then you get to 10,
yes.
And then it gets,
start worrying.
It's more than 10.
Yeah, you do. You worry as a centre forward. You're right, John.
What was the longest spell that you had for a new team before you actually scored your first goal? Can you remember?
Yeah, I think it maybe, I'd say about 7 or 8. And I was panicking because they paid a lot of money for me, so I'm thinking I need to get off the mark.
Where was that?
I think it might have been when I went to Birmingham. I think it was, but I had an injury when I first went there. So when I went to Birmingham, and I was panicking. But it might be another one. But I'm not counting when I was in League 1, League 2, because I was finished then, John. So I'm not counting those games. But they could have been longer down there. Yeah, as Crossy's googling.
You're not finished yet, Clint.
Yeah, all right.
Still plenty of life in the old dog. Here's Udogie crossing from the left-hand side, and it hits Evans and bounces behind for a corner to Tottenham from the left-hand side. And the feeling when you got the goal?
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world. I'll tell you when it was. No, it was longer than that. It was one when I was trying to score my 100th goal for Crystal Palace. It was my 100th goal. It was longer than that. And I kept having T-shirts ready for when I scored. And in the end, I got rid of the T-shirt, John. I was being too clever.
Run out of messages.
Yeah, run out of messages, exactly.
So Manchester United leading through Højlund's goal. And it is a corner that Johnson is going to take. Again, he backs down the little slope there is next to the tunnel at Old Trafford in front of the Stretford end. Here's the corner played in. It's headed in. Richarlison's there. A little glance in the 6-yard box. There is no stopping Richarlison just now. It's 1-1 at Old Trafford, and Richarlison has 6 goals in 7 appearances now. Yeah. Manchester United 1, Tottenham 1.
You're spot on, John. There's no stopping him, and you highlighted him before, so that's why John Murray's the best. But it's a great ball in from Pedro Porro. The ball makes it. He whips a great ball in. I don't know who's marking Richarlison, but Richarlison, a little bit of movement. It's a fantastic header in off the post. And yeah, he's proving his doubters wrong. And good luck to him, because he's suffered a lot this season and he's come back mentally strong. So credit to him. But it's a brilliant header. And it's not really any movement. It's just poor defending. He just gets in front. I think he gets in front. It's Wan-Bissaka maybe he's marking him, and he just gets in front of him. But I think people mark zonal nowadays. He gets in front, and it's a good header.
Yeah, Richarlison, it was Pedro Porro with the corner, whipped it in, and yet, I mean, in amongst a whole group of players, but Richarlison in the 6-yard box, just a little touch off that bleach blonde rinsed head, and it flew inside the far post. 1-1.
John, let me tell you something. You see at the back post, it looks like Dalot was meant to be on the post at the back post, and he's come off the post and come in, and that's why you have defenders at the back post. If he's at the back post, he just clears that. So it might have been a mistake on him, because he looked like he was on the goal line when the header came in.
Well, that has punctured a little bit of the feel-good atmosphere around Old Trafford that we've had with that early goal, that exciting early goal from Højlund. And now it is the Tottenham Hotspur supporters that you can hear singing in their corner, having just witnessed Richarlison's 8th goal of the season for Spurs. He's really begun to motor. It was actually when we were there for the commentary against Newcastle, when Ange Postecoglou brought him in to start, got a couple of goals in that match, and that's just sent him off.
Well, that's what happens with centre forwards. They come, you wait, and they come like buses. It could be like Højlund as well. Yeah, they do come. They do come like buses, and he's full of confidence at the moment.
So, 5 Live from the BBC, World Service with us as well. Let you know in the second half when the lines are open to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 606. That will be once we wrap everything up. The 606 phone in on 5 Live every Saturday and Sunday night of the football season, and indeed beyond. I would imagine into the Euros as well. Here's Van de Ven, tall Dutchman, bringing it forward, full Dutch international now. Van de Ven back to the halfway line. He'll probably be involved in the Euros, all being well. Here he is again on the halfway line, going all the way back.
Oh, if he stays fit, he should be, shouldn't he? Nailed on.
I think so.
Yeah.
Not a bad partnership, would it?
Van Dijk and Van de Ven.
Van de Ven.
Oof.
Yeah. There's Romero. Christian Romero, World Cup winner, plays the ball back to his goalkeeper Vicario. Now Van de Ven, long up towards Richarlison, as Varane, another World Cup winner, heads the ball back into the Tottenham half, but Werner now takes it up. He's got a chance to have a run down the left wing for Tottenham. Johnny Evans comes across, he cuts in field. Werner, right foot shot, he's got right underneath that, and it sails away a quarter of the way up the Stretford end. That's Werner.
That is Werner
in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's Werner at Chelsea. That finish, but that is Werner. It's a great run. He sets himself. He could have slid Bentancur or Brennan Johnson, but you know what? You want to impress. You want to try and get that first goal on your first start. But it was a good run. But that is Werner. But next time he could pull it in the top corner, John.
And the thing is, with Werner, what we know, because we've seen so much of him, that'll not faze him at all.
No chance. He'll keep getting in there, and he'll keep trying to get his shots away. And you're right. He'll keep getting in behind, John.
He'll try again and again.
Yep.
He's like Robert the Bruce as Tottenham have the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. We were having a little look earlier at Chelsea. Scored 16 offside goals. He was caught in 56 Premier League appearances. He was caught offside. How many times do you think? In 56 Premier League matches, how many times was he caught offside at Chelsea?
15.
38.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes.
Oh wow, 38. I did not know that. Wow.
Johnson plays the ball to, here is Werner now in the box, goes for the shot, but that's blocked. Defender in front of him, Dalot. Ball looped up in the air, it was headed away by Dalot, and then further away by Bruno Fernandes, but Højlund wasn't able to take it into his stride, so Tottenham have got it back, and Tottenham now tails up. You can hear that not only on the field, their supporters as well in the stands to our right, with after that equaliser. And then Wan-Bissaka is in very, very firmly with a challenge over on the far side.
He's going to book him, but I thought he got the ball.
Well, I think he might have.
He did get the ball, but it's probably the follow-through, isn't it?
Yeah. He caught Johnson. So he went in one leg outstretched, got the ball, but the other bent leg, I think, caught Johnson.
Yeah, so that's why he's booking him for the follow-through, not for the first one, because the first one, he gets the ball. For sure, he gets the ball.
But that was... and that actually was Wan-Bissaka in a nutshell there. Really, it's an excellent challenge in times past.
That's not a booking, John, and it's not a foul. To be fair, I'm looking at it. I know his back leg catches him, but there's nothing. If he gets you can't stop your momentum. It's a bad decision, that is, from the referee. Yeah. It's because Johnson's rolling around on the floor, but that's the modern day football, John. In my day and age, you get away with anything.
Well, for decades and decades and decades of this great game, that would have been widely acclaimed.
Yes.
But it's a free kick.
Definitely.
And I think it was just the way, as they take the free kick quickly on the right-hand side, the ball is clipped across over the top of Richarlison in the Manchester United box, headed away by Dalot, but the offside flag is up. And it's a free, and actually Spurs have passed the ball.
Oh my gosh, he's going to book him. He was passing the ball to Timo Werner, Bentancur, because Man United, he's just trying to even it up because he gets it wrong with the Wan-Bissaka one.
Yeah, well,
wow.
It's debatable. That's not how John Brooks has seen it. The referee has seen that as Bentancur wasting time, kicking the ball away, stopping Manchester United getting on with the game, and he's booked for it.
And Ange is not happy. He's shaking his head. He knows. So I'm in the Ange camp. I don't think he deserves to get booked. I actually think... no, he knows what he's doing, John. Let's move on.
Guilty.
Yes,
says
guilty.
Judge Morrison.
Yep.
Vicario comes out of the penalty area and heads the ball away. I just need a gavel to bang on the table. It's a free kick to Tottenham, halfway inside their own half. Manchester United 1, Tottenham 1. Højlund for Manchester United, Richarlison for Tottenham. So goals from the two centre forwards that we've seen. Great history of this fixture between Tottenham and Manchester United. I had a little look at Glenn Hoddle's famous goal. You must have seen that, the volley.
Oh yeah,
against
for sure.
Manchester United. One of the most famous Tottenham goals.
Ridiculous. What technique Glenn Hoddle had, by
fantastic.
The way. Wow.
It's such a good goal, that. I would urge you, if you're a youngster not seen it, look it up. Here's Udogie now down the left-hand side. Dalot puts the challenge inside the penalty area as well. However, he came away with the ball.
Yeah, it was a great run from Udogie. I think he just ran away from him, and there's a good tackle from Dalot. He timed it excellently, but Udogie's causing problems. He's causing a lot of problems down this left-hand side.
So it's Manchester United having won a throw-in halfway inside their own half. Yes, Manchester United in front in the 3rd minute. Tottenham equalising in the 19th, and we're now heading towards the half hour here on this cold afternoon, but not too cold. I know it's snowing in some parts of the United Kingdom today. Manchester United with the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. Evans, and then Dalot with a crossfield pass. Pedro Porro is onto that, but he can't make any headway. Manchester United win it back. Wan-Bissaka and Rashford's run a long way, and he's run into the challenge of Romero just outside the box.
Has to pass there, has to get his head up, because he's just going into bodies there. He's going into bodies there, John, you know. So it's just a player that's not full of confidence at the moment.
Yep. Last season he would have whipped past him into the penalty area, you know. That's how it went last season. You know, he scored at the New Year last season, between New Year and the end of the season, 19 goals he scored for Manchester United.
That's ridiculous.
And so far this season, just the 3 that he scored, and as we've said, not scored here at Old Trafford. But on the basis of that, I think there continues to be this hope among Manchester United supporters that he'll transform himself into the Rashford of the second half of last season. And that's certainly what Erik ten Hag's hoping for. Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes swings a foot into the challenge with Johnson. Ball breaks back towards the halfway line, and Manchester United have got possession with Johnny Evans. Not sure how much longer we'll see the Evans and Varane partnership together, with Lisandro Martinez on the substitutes bench.
Do you think it'll be Martinez and Varane, or do you think Martinez and Maguire when he comes in? Because he wasn't really picking Varane when he was fit and available.
That's a great question for the expert, Clinton.
That is John Murray.
Come on. What do you think?
Oh, I think it could. Well, Varane's been outstanding. I think it will be Martinez and Varane, and then if Varane has a couple of games, I think he'll bring Maguire back in. But then there's even a thought. He could throw Luke Shaw there, but I prefer Luke Shaw at left back. Much better, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I heard Vicky Sparks earlier saying that Gareth Southgate had left Goodison Park
to get
early.
here.
I wonder if he is here, the England manager. I did wonder whether he might be coming here to have a look at this as well.
He'll be here. He don't have to queue up. He just come straight in, doesn't he?
You would like to think so. But I guess he probably might have been hoping to see Luke Shaw or Maguire, but neither involved yet. But I imagine they will be when Manchester United come back after their break, when they will be playing either Newport or Eastleigh. What an FA Cup tie that is.
That is for Eastleigh or Newport.
Saturday afternoon. What a replay that is this week.
Brilliant.
Talk about high stakes.
Yeah, high stakes. Very, very high stakes.
So we'll have that covered for you this week. Tuesday and Wednesday night coverage and commentary on the FA Cup replays on 5 Live. Here come Manchester United, but Evans is caught in possession. They tried to warn him that Udogie was coming, but Udogie and Richarlison win it back, and now Werner on the left-hand side. Werner leaves it for Udogie. Christian Romero is going to pass it through the middle. Richarlison's found a bit of space there, 30 yards out. Now to Johnson, edge of the box, looking for Porro. Johnson's low ball. He went for the shot, actually, but hit it straight. I don't know if it was a toe poke or what it was, but it was straight at Onana.
He hasn't hit that form that he's at Nottingham Forest. He just needs that goal, John. You look at him and you think to him, he's got so much pace, so much ability. Just needs a few more goals. Ball
played over the top for Rashford, who bursts beyond the Tottenham back line. Rashford, there's no flag yet, and the cross. Even though Højlund and Garnacho in the middle, he whipped it straight into the chest of Vicario, who caught it.
He's got to do better there. It's a great run from Rashford. He's making some great runs, but he has to be better when he's getting into them areas.
Wan-Bissaka does well. He steps in to win it back ahead of Bentancur. Now Bruno Fernandes. Wan-Bissaka on the left-hand side, and as he looked across, in came the recovering Pedro Porro to slide it behind for another Manchester United corner. The score, Manchester United 1, Tottenham 1, and we have 30 minutes and 22 seconds according to the thin electronic scoreboard in the stand to our right, halfway up, just to the right of where it has the banner Sir Bobby Forever Loved. Corner for Manchester United then. From the left-hand side, Bruno Fernandes in, attempted flick by Dalot, that was blocked by Bentancur, and then bounced down for Pedro Porro to volley it high up and away towards the halfway line. Christian Eriksen now takes it down, he lifts the ball forward to Garnacho, nice touch. Udogie is tight with him inside the penalty area. Garnacho then goes down very, very easily.
Exactly, John's right, very easily. You're spot on. He just gets tight to him and he goes down too easily.
People might be shouting in the stands around us for a penalty, but that was highly optimistic that he might have been given a penalty for that. Here's Rashford now, receives it on the left-hand side, running at Pedro Porro into the penalty area, still going, trying to pull it back, but he just runs it straight on with the defender, who did well, went with him, Porro, and it's a goal kick, came to nothing.
Yeah, you're right, John, it's brilliant defending. I think Rashford's got the beating of Porro, but he just uses his body and out-muscles him and lets the ball go out of play, so really good defending.
Manchester United 1, Tottenham 1. Tottenham playing it out from the back. Bentancur infield towards Richarlison, controls it. There's the confidence, isn't it, of a goal scorer, Richarlison. These recent goals make him look, I was going to say like $1 million, but in footballing terms that's not very much, is it, these days? Here's Richarlison on the left-hand side. Johnny Evans is able to just work the ball away from him. It's cleared by Dalot, but groans because that's back to Højbjerg, and now Romero gives it back to Højbjerg. Pedro Porro, low pass, bouncing out to Johnson on the right-hand side. Johnson. Now Højbjerg is there as well. Misplaced pass from him, and Manchester United have got possession back. Wan-Bissaka played it downfield. He was looking for the pass to Højlund, but got it all wrong. Just presented it back to Spurs.
Yeah, he did. It's because Højlund made a run, and he thought he was going to come and show feet. So they have to keep the ball, Man United, because Tottenham. Well, saying that, and Doggie's just passed the ball out of play. So I think it's a sloppy 2 minutes at the moment, John.
Yeah, we'll draw a veil over that. We'll excuse them that after the general entertainment that we've seen so far. Here's Onana at the back, Andre Onana, who will, this time tomorrow, he'll be with his Cameroon teammates in Ivory Coast. But so far, beaten by that glancing header from Richarlison. There wasn't much he could do about that. Pedro Porro now taking this up for Tottenham, lifting the ball right across the box, but Dalot just calmly chests it back to Onana. Werner was lurking behind him. But it's passed forward by Bruno Fernandes. This for Garnacho to chase against Udogie, who wins that battle.
No chance. I can't see it. He's quick, Garnacho, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see it with that pass to Udogie that he's going to beat him in a sprint race.
Tottenham.
Good football.
Yeah, playing it out from the back. Wow. Confident stuff. Ange Postecoglou will be purring down there at the sight of that. Now Johnson runs onto this ball down the right, but lifts it right across the penalty area. Richarlison in the middle. Werner was coming in as well, so has to retreat, recover, pick up possession again for Tottenham on the left-hand side. Skip and Hojbjerg and Werner all together. Now back towards the halfway line, and Tottenham will begin again in an excellent contest. Udogie and Garnacho, two form players up against one another. Definitely. At the moment, it's Udogie who's edging that battle.
You're right, John, it is. Garnacho's been in brilliant form, probably Man United's best player over the last month or so, but Udogie, he's a speedmeister, and he looks like he just loves defending in them one-on-one situations.
1-1, Manchester United 1, Tottenham 1. I read a very entertaining article by Sam Wallace in the newspaper this weekend. He went to where Alejandro Garnacho grew up in Spain and spoke to his coaches and his school teachers, who, he clearly was asking him about this sort of the kind of rebel tag that he has for it. But the teachers, rather disappointingly possibly for Sam, said no, he always did his homework.
Oh wow!
He got good grades and he had lovely handwriting.
Oh, brilliant!
Which I enjoyed. Here's Romero to Skip, and then back to Romero. Skip, it'll pass to the right-hand side, and then Hojbjerg gives it back. And Tottenham now looking very comfortable in possession.
And I wondered why they was clapping. I think it's Martinez has gone out, and gone out to warm up.
Yes, that's gone down well. That's lifted the Manchester United fans in the Stretford end. They're looking forward to seeing him back after this long spell that he's been out. 4 months. As Garnacho is trying to win the ball back from Van de Ven. He's been successful, but Bentancur, as it ran to Bruno Fernandes inside the penalty area, Bentancur just stepped in and won the ball back for Tottenham. That was important. And now Tottenham attacking down the right-hand side. More from Clinton on that in a moment. But Johnson cutting in field, but Wan-Bissaka right there with him. Excellent defending again from the left back as he is today. Wan-Bissaka rather unexpectedly. That's certainly a question for Erik ten Hag after the match, if this goes Manchester United's way. Here's Hojbjerg now 30 yards out towards the left-hand side, uses Werner and Timo Werner to Udogie, who very nearly stumbled over the ball but is able to give it back to Van de Ven on the halfway line. Now Christian Romero, he looks up, but there's nothing much doing ahead of him, so back it comes to the halfway line again, and the Manchester United volume has been very much turned up by Martinez, warming up down next to the tunnel. Werner on the left. Now here's Skip, back to Werner, and Tottenham currently absolutely dominating possession.
Yeah, they're bossing it. They are bossing it.
Good work from Bentancur inside his own penalty
it's
area.
a great tackle, because Van de Ven loses the ball. You're right, John. He loses the ball and Bruno's in. He's got a chance, but the recovery from Bentancur is outstanding. And I don't even think he's match fit, because he's out for a long time, but he's getting back to his best.
Oh, Richarlison very nearly whipped the pass, but Eriksson was actually in position and stopped it from reaching Pedro Porro, who loves getting into those positions, doesn't he? Forward from right back. These two fullbacks are so important for this Tottenham side. Pedro Porro on the right-hand side and Udogie on the left, but Eriksson just in the right place to stop that. Yeah,
really good. Great little flick round the corner from Richarlison, who, you're right, John, is full of confidence at the moment, and good defending, but Tottenham are dominating possession at the moment.
Half-time approaching. Spurs currently on top after Manchester United's early goal. Pedro Porro right across field from right to left. Werner gets this down, passes it through Udogie. Udogie's cross, that was blocked by Evans, who went with the Tottenham left back, and Manchester United are able to bring it clear. Not quite yet though. Dalot infield to Eriksson. McTominay on the bench today. It's just the one Manchester United change. Now Rashford receiving it inside his own half. He's right on the left wing. Still got space in front of him as Pedro Porro retreats, and then Rashford's ball right across the penalty area, headed against his own post by Udogie. So close to an own goal. Højlund on the edge of the box, plays it across, couldn't find Eriksson, and Richarlison falls in to clear it away for Tottenham.
You know, one thing he's good at, defending in one-on-one. You know what he's not good at defending? Checking his shoulders. His body shape's all wrong there in Doggy. He doesn't see Garnacho, and that's why he's stretching at the end of it, John. It's good. In the end, he gets really fortunate, hits the post, but he has to open up his body.
So close that, and now the ball played in for Bruno Fernandes, but he can't reach that. It just skips away off the turf and through for a goal kick. Good ball by Rashford. It was into the penalty area. It certainly left Udogie in two minds there, and he was just, well, inches away from heading into his own net.
It nearly was a fantastic finish.
It would have been. It would have been one of those own goals.
Ooh.
As Evans, tackled by Højbjerg, comes back. Johnny Evans quickly back on his feet. Here's Højlund. Evans has gone down again. I think there's a collision off the ball. Manchester United have moved it to Rashford. Rashford low into Højlund, trying to give it back. Rashford shot. It's in. Marcus Rashford scores at Old Trafford. Finally, for the first time since May. Set up by Højlund. And a classic Rashford finish. Left side of the penalty area, just a cushion touch into the far bottom corner, and Manchester United regain the lead. And what a relief for Marcus Rashford. 2-1 against Tottenham.
And John, let me tell you, the celebration, he's definitely digging at people because he's doing that with his hand. Like, you keep talking, the people that are getting on his back. I saw the celebration. I've been in it many times where fans are having a go at you, but he has to deliver. He's a superstar. He's got so much talent, and you're right. Once it comes into him, the finish is brilliant. That's not a man who hasn't been scoring goals, but he's just letting people know I'm still around and I can still score goals. But yeah, it's Tottenham's undoing again, though. But you got to credit Rashford. Once it gets into that situation, it's a really good finish. He gets fortunate. I think he does get fortunate here, but it's brilliant finish. Great finish into the bottom corner.
A little return pass from Højlund, just sort of stunned it, Højlund, into his path. And Rashford was able to stretch onto the return as I think Van de Ven slid in, but Rashford got there first. And the celebration, Clinton, you're saying it was with one hand?
Yeah, it was one hand. He was just doing like, you keep talking with his hands out. He's like, people obviously having a go at him. He's just going to, you see it there? So you keep talking. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. And that's what I'd be doing, the same thing. Maybe he's thinking along my lines.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right, Clinton. You know it.
Yeah, I do.
You know what that was all about.
Exactly.
But you were also quite correct in what you said.
They're allowed to say what they want if you're not delivering and not doing your job, and he hasn't been doing that, but it's a good finish.
As I say, he's not scored in 14 appearances here at Old Trafford for Manchester United until he gets his goal today, and Manchester United are back in front, and that's what Ten Hag needs.
And you know what, the camera just flashed to Rooney showing him, and Martial was sitting in front of him. Maybe Martial needs a bit of tip from Rooney as well, John.
Maybe so. Well, Anthony Martial, take note. Certainly, I mean, how many suggestions have there been over the years that Martial might be on his way? But I think the talk is that
he wants to stay, doesn't he, and fight for his place.
Well, I'm not sure that there's been too much firm interest.
Okay. Fair enough.
Manchester United leading Tottenham by 2-1. Martial, who's been unwell, actually, he's another one who's been out ill. Rather like Kulusevski for Tottenham. That's a serious blow with no Son to be without Kulusevski today as well, as the ball's played forward by Spurs but runs all the way through and out for a goal kick next to the corner flag. You know, to see a Tottenham team without Kulusevski, Son, Harry Kane's gone now. This today, Clinton, the first time that Tottenham have started a Premier League match without both Son and Kane since March 2020.
Wow. He'll be back, Son, soon, though. Hopefully he'll be back, because you're right, he's a key player for them. He is world class. I don't use that term loosely, but he is world class, and they have missed him because Werner's not really made an impact so far. But I'm not going to judge him after 40 minutes of football.
Son, the top scorer for Tottenham this season with his 12 goals. Manchester United 2-1 up. Ball played long for Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes against Van de Ven. Then back to Højlund. Højlund trying to find a position. Gives it to Rashford. Left foot. Pulls it back on his right foot. Didn't get the shot in. Defender stepped in. Bentancur in the end. Wan-Bissaka. Well, that was begging for Rashford to go for goal, surely.
Surely when you've just scored a good goal like that, you're confident enough. Just take a touch and get the shot away. So he's still probably not confident enough to go and do that after scoring a good goal.
Well, here he is again. Rashford tried to play it infield towards Garnacho, but Tottenham stepped in. Bruno Fernandes though, back to Garnacho, left side of the penalty area, but this time Christian Romero is able to take the ball away from Manchester United. They haven't got it out of their own defensive third yet. Bentancur, the Uruguayan, is shielding it from Bruno Fernandes, who just arrives on the scene and puts it out of play for a throw-in to Spurs. So questions are being asked of Tottenham here.
And you know, defensively, still a problem for Tottenham. Even though that is probably their best back four at the moment, I still think like Porro's brilliant going forward, but I question him defensively.
And Rashford there, real opportunity opened up for him, but in the end did not actually end up getting an attempt on goal once Bentancur stepped in. Manchester United 2, Tottenham 1. As Spurs with Skip, excellent pass from inside his own half into the path of Werner. Werner now racing to the edge of the area. Dalot goes with him. Werner pulls his shot across the face of goal and wide of the far post. This is what I'm saying. It's a big question mark to bring someone like that. He's got to hit the target there. The pass from Skip is fantastic. He's one-on-one with Dalot. He's got Dalot backpedaling. He has to hit the target. He has to work on Onana in that situation, and that's why it's been like that for Timo Werner. And people question him. We said it, John. He'll keep going and keep going, but you've got to hit the target there. You're one-on-one. You have to work on Onana. Well, he's not been in the Leipzig team. He's not had a great deal of football this season. Scored a couple of goals, but just 14 appearances. That's why he's here now. That's why he's been available on loan. Bruno Fernandes, lovely ball for Garnacho. Udogie is back in there, got the foot in on the ball. Garnacho though wins it, and then Bruno Fernandes plays it, and Pedro Porro had to make that, otherwise Rashford would have been in, but he was able to hook it away out for a throw on the left hand side. 3 minutes to be played at the end of the first half. Earlier, Everton 0, Aston Villa 0 in our first commentary match of this Premier League Sunday on 5 Live, so we'll have reaction to that, I'm sure, from Everton and Aston Villa. Finished QPR 1, Watford 2 in the Championship. In the Rugby Union, Bath had a close win against Racing, 29-25. We'll bring you the other scores when we get the opportunity. I know La Rochelle against Leicester is on Sports Extra right now, so that is your choice of listening. La Rochelle against Leicester, but it is a corner for Manchester United from the left hand side. Eriksson takes it into the near post, comes off Van de Ven's head right across the 6-yard area, headed away by Udogie. Garnacho's there, then Fernandes goes for a blasted goal but gets underneath it and lands it halfway up the lower tier of the stand to our right. So Manchester United lead 2-1 in added time at the end of the first half. Do they deserve it, Clinton, do you think?
It's an even game. You would have probably thought maybe a draw. It should have been a draw, but you know what? They took their chances, where Timo Werner's had a couple of chances and they haven't took their chances. So there's more goals anyway, John. It's not stopping here.
Time's got away on me. It's finished. La Rochelle 45, Leicester 12 as Tottenham attack down the right hand side, and we've got 2 balls on the field at the moment. It's a throw into Tottenham, but there's a ball in the middle of Vicario's penalty area, and he's actually wandered out of his box, and somebody's had to draw attention to the fact that, and now he turns around, sees it and puts it out of play. So it's a corner actually to Tottenham from the right hand side. It must have just bounced out next to the flag on the other side. So it's a corner for Spurs in added time. Delivery into the near ball, headed against the crossbar by Romero, and then a challenge in the box. Tottenham are claiming that Van de Ven might have been fouled inside the box, but what an opportunity that was, at pace, diving. Christian Romero at full stretch right against the front of the crossbar, came back out into the box. Now Højbjerg shoots low but pulls it wide by a couple of yards actually. Didn't threaten the goal but the header from Christian Romero certainly did. It's
definitely, I thought he should have scored because he's 3 or 4 yards out. The ball in from Porro, his delivery is first class, and Romero attacks it brilliantly, and he knows he should be scoring there because he attacks it magnificently. The ball makes it, he should score, to be fair. He towers over, I think it's Kobe Mainoo, and he hits the crossbar. It's a good header from Romero. He's a bit unlucky, but he knows he should be scoring.
So the Manchester United bar has been struck. Mind you, Tottenham struck their own post, didn't they? Udogie, when it was 1-1, I think. When it was 1-1. And it is currently 2-1. Manchester United lead. As Tottenham want to take a quick free kick, but Højlund has got in the way of this. And Romero has stood up to Højlund, and there's a bit of bumping one another with upper bodies and shoulders. And his international teammate Højbjerg is in there as well. Højlund, and it's a yellow card for the Manchester United number 11 for his reaction to Romero.
Yeah, and he stops them letting them take it quickly. That's why he gets booked, because Tottenham want to get on with it, and he's standing there, and then Romero gives him a little nudge, and he gets caught out. It's clever from Romero.
Normally, Romero's the yellow card specialist, but he knows how to. He even knows how to get yellow cards for other people.
He's clever.
Manchester United 2, Tottenham 1 is the half-time score. So there we are, as the players head to our left towards the tunnel, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe standing up and heading off, no doubt, to be lavished in the Manchester United boardroom. The enjoyable first half, and from his point of view, all good. Manchester United leading at half-time for the first time in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, it's been a good first half, John. I think both teams have gone for it. Tottenham defensively have struggled a lot, but so have Man United. It's been an open game. I think Ten Hag will be happy the way his team have pressed Tottenham at the back and forced them into making mistakes. And Andrew will be disappointed with the goals they conceded, but he knows they get opportunities. Werner's had 2 great ones.
So there we are. Rasmus Højlund scores for a second time in successive Manchester United home matches. Richarlison made it 6 goals in his last 7, and then Marcus Rashford finally scored at Old Trafford for Manchester United for the first time this season. That is 4 goals for Manchester United in now 26 appearances this season. And at half-time, it is Manchester United 2, Tottenham 1, and Steve Crossman is here with us in the commentary position.
And the first thing, Clinton, I've learned about Sir Jim Ratcliffe is that he's very, very demonstrative. When Richarlison's header went in, there was a big, stern shake of the head. When Rashford scored the goal, he was throwing his head back and laughing loud. He was wearing his heart on his sleeve. I think that's what you want to see as a fan, probably.
Yeah, of course you do. You want your owners to be involved in it, and he is involved in it. Listen, he's bought this football club, and he wants to turn it around and be like it was years and years ago. He's sitting next to a legend of a manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, so he'll be giving him a few tips. But no, he's seen a really good first half, because it's the best I've seen Man United play for a long time. I ain't saying they've dominated, but what they have they defended well, and they've took their chances when they've come across it.
2 massive goals. Marcus Rashford, first time he scored at Old Trafford in 9 months. And the Højlund goal was one of those brilliant goals where it's hit so hard. With the naked eye, I couldn't see the ball between him hitting it and it thumping into the top corner.
No, it's one of those, you know, if he's got too much time, he probably misses it. But because it's just come early and it's instinct as a centre forward, and I think they're the best goals where it's the instinct where he just takes a touch and he just hammers it, and Vicario's got no chance crossing. It's a fantastic finish, and it's what Man United needed, and it's what Højlund needed.
Going the other way, and perhaps this is part of the reason why this is the first time they've led at half-time at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season, is control. They didn't seem to gain any control from taking the lead, conceded sloppily from a set piece, and but for a header that probably should have gone in and instead hit the bar, they would have managed to do that twice in the first half.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem. It's like they take the lead and then they sit back and they listen. Tottenham can dominate most teams because the way Ange wants to play, but even when they were winning the ball back, Crossy, they were giving it straight back to them. They weren't lending it, taking 2 or 3 passes like Tottenham do, and that's the biggest thing. And I'll tell you one thing, they're vulnerable to set pieces, because I think every time it goes into their box, you think Tottenham are going to score, especially with Porro's delivery. So, as I said, Andrew will be disappointed about the result, but he won't be disappointed with the performance so far.
And as always, you were far too harsh on yourself. You had a brilliant start to life at Birmingham City.
Oh, was it? It was Exeter then, wasn't it? It was
scored
like that.
Scored at Anfield.
Oh yeah, I remember that, but
then scored one of the 3 in the 3-0 win over Aston Villa.
Yeah, I don't like to make it about me. I wanted to make Højlund feel like he was in the same boat as me.
What was famous about that derby game that you scored in the 3-0 win?
Oh wait,
I think I might have been there for that one.
It's the throw-on, isn't it, where Enkelman, where he does touch it. I think he slips his stud at the bottom, but John was there, so he saw it better.
I was there, and yeah, Enkelman, and I tell you who was great that day. Graham Taylor was actually the summariser with us that day, and Graham, as ever, was absolutely spot on in terms of, should it have gone in, should it have been, what activity, etc., etc.
You know what makes it, John, about that day is because, when you touch it, you would just, if you didn't touch it, you would leave it. But then as a goalkeeper, your natural instinct is to do that. And I think that's why the referee gave it.
Well, if someone had told me walking into Old Trafford today at half-time you'll be relitigating Peter Enkelman's own goal, I might not have believed it.
I hope Peter Enkelman's not
listening. Sorry, Peter.
Exactly.
So it's been very interesting looking away to our left-hand side with George Russell, the Mercedes driver, giving absolutely nothing away, nothing on his face at all. So we have an F1 driver at Old Trafford, but Sir Jim is at the wheel, so to speak, as is Eric Ten Hag, and he will have enjoyed that first half greatly. I think they lead Tottenham by 2-1 in the day's early games. Aston Villa missed the chance to go level on points with Liverpool at the top. They drew 0-0 with Everton at Goodison Park. Jake Livermore scored 2 brilliant goals for Watford in the Championship. They beat QPR by 2-1. Fourth round of the Women's FA Cup. Shock of the day, third tier Wolves won 2-1 away at second tier Reading. Late goals from Beth Merrick and Destiny Toussaint. Wolves are the third tier side to reach the last 16. 6-1 win for Nottingham Forest at Plymouth earlier this afternoon. Holders Chelsea needed extra time to beat West Ham 3-1. Spurs won their tie against Sheffield United 3-2 despite being 2-0 down with just over 20 minutes to go. Finished Arsenal 5, Watford 1. Liverpool won 1-0 at Bristol City. Other full times: Palace 3, Blackburn 1, Ipswich 1, Charlton 4, Luton 0, Brighton 6, Sunderland 0, Southampton 2. Birmingham beat Burnley 3-1 after extra time. Both Manchester clubs through comfortably. United beating Newcastle 5-0, City winning 4-0 over Durham. And fourth tier Moneyfields, we spoke to their manager at the start of the show on Premier League Sunday. They were well beaten 4-0 at Championship side London City Lionesses. The unlikely combo of Sean Dyche and Novak Djokovic on the way after the news with Richard Foster.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
5 migrants have died trying to cross the Channel from France. A 6th person is critically ill after their small boat got into difficulties a short distance from a beach near Calais. The Foreign Secretary, David Cameron, says the deaths are heartbreaking.
You can only think about what an appalling end it would be in the cold waters of the Channel in the middle of the night. It breaks my heart to hear about it. But it just shows we've got to stop the boats. We've got to stop this illegal trade in human beings. We've done a vast amount in the Channel itself, but ultimately the only way you can stop the boats is by busting the model of the people smugglers.
David Cameron's also refused to rule out further airstrikes against the Houthis in Yemen. He says military action has been necessary after the Houthis continued to attack ships in the Red Sea. Thousands of people have been to a pro-Israel rally in London to mark 100 days since the 7th of October attacks. People gathered in Trafalgar Square carrying Israeli flags and holding pictures of some of the 105 people still believed to be held hostage. Israel is facing mounting international pressure over the number of civilians killed in Gaza. A man's been arrested on suspicion of murdering a child in Darlington. The 1-year-old died in hospital on Friday. A woman's also been detained on suspicion of causing or allowing serious injury to a child. Frederick X has been proclaimed the new King of Denmark. Tens of thousands of people have gathered in Copenhagen to cheer their new monarch. The crown passed to him when his mum, Queen Margrethe, officially ended her reign after more than 50 years. Our royal correspondent Daniela Ralph was there.
He talked about his hopes of becoming a unifying king of tomorrow, of honouring his mother. She will always be remembered as an extraordinary queen, he said, and it is hoped that he becomes a unifying king for the whole of Denmark.
And lava from a volcanic eruption in southwestern Iceland has reached a small fishing town. Latest reports say a new fissure has opened up just to the north of Grindavik, and the lava has set one home on fire.
Take a moment and relax with BBC Sounds. We've got the morning after mix, soothing music chosen by Slowdive. The sleeping forecast to help you drift off to sleep. And find your inner peace with the Mindful Mix, fireplace soundscapes. Search New Year, listen only on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Yes, welcome back to Old Trafford, where Manchester United lead Tottenham by 2-1 at half-time. Earlier, Aston Villa missed the chance to go joint top of the table. They drew 0-0 at Everton. Here's Everton boss Sean Dyche with Gary Flintoff.
Well, Sean, it got quite feisty towards the end, but what did you make of it overall?
Yeah, I mean, it's two teams trying to win a game. They've got a chance to go joint top. We've got a chance to step away from the position we're in. So I have no problem with that. Both teams committed to the cause to try and win a game.
In terms of the chance that fell to Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the first half, he looked to be in complete control. He looked to have picked his spot. It was a good save. Is that what he needs, though, just to get that goal, to get him off and running?
He makes a good save. It's a good run. We worked on, as many do. I mean, they do it well. They're clever with it. But breaking the back line, we did that. And he goes through, and you fancy him, and he just, I don't think he does a lot wrong. The kid makes a good save. He throws his foot out and manages to save it with that. Makes a follow-up save from Jimmy Garner, more of a savable save, I thought. But, you know, at the end of the day, we want players to be in the right mood to go and score goals. Dom was unlucky. He came off because he got the ball hit him back in the eye, as you know, and he had a bit of blurred vision, so we had to make an early call on that. But, yeah, I mean, he's a player that we know can score goals, and he will do.
And is that just I suppose the message to underline that today was a day where you had to take something from the game?
No, you have to take something from every Premier League game. We're certainly not at a level where we're that good we can just pick and choose. Trust me, we go into every game to try and win it, and we did do today.
Sean Dyche with Gary Flintoff. 08085 909 693 is the number to call for 606. The lines are now open. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will be with you once we're done here at Old Trafford. Afternoon, Robbie.
Afternoon, Steve. How are you?
Very good, thank you. I have a feeling that you will get more callers on what happens here than what happened at Goodison.
Yeah, we will. You know, I'm joined by the Spurs fan, Chris Sutton. We know how he feels about Big Ange, but they're getting beat at the minute. It's quite remarkable, really, to think that, you know, Chris is a huge fan of Ange and Spurs. But I've got to say, in that first half, you know, listening, Spurs with the better side, but this high line, you know, with the pace they're playing against, and Højlund and Rashford and Garnacho, this high line Spurs play because they're aggressive, because they're front-footed football, you know, they will get caught. And, you know, Højlund, little bit of criticism, but what a finish and an assist for Rashford with I think, you know, his first goal is at home in the league for 7 months, so much needed goal for him. But it's an entertaining game. I'm sure you're going to get more goals in the second half, Steve.
That is a massive goal, that, for Rashford, isn't it? You could see on his face how important he knew it was as well, I thought.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a great finish as well. Just the way he moved the ball. You know, I'm sure you can ask Clinton about the way he moved the ball. You know, Clinton would have probably missed the target. But it was a great finish. It was a great finish, and he much needed. And listen, as a striker, you know, Clinton will tell you. You know, I played with Clinton at Birmingham, and he'll tell you, you know, when you're not scoring for a while, what a goal means to a centre forward. You know, and and for Højlund, look at Højlund, look at the frustration when he, you know, his emotion when he scored against Aston Villa, that goal, and that's a great finish today. You know, he's a raw talent, but you know, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe in the stadium, which is a positive, a huge positive, that, you know, he's there. So again, I think there's going to be more goals in the second half. Also against it, I want to hear from Reading fans. I know you know the Reading situation.
Yeah.
We had Reading fans on last night. Quite a remarkable situation for the football club to be in. So we would Reading fans, Aston Villa and Everton fans also. But I'm sure there's going to be more talking points in this second half. And you know, John was on 606 quite a lot last week as well, Steve. I don't know if you heard it. You know, I can't remember what it was actually for, but he was on a lot last week, John Murray.
I was on for
no, he is.
Arsenal, Liverpool.
That's right, Steve. So we talked.
And if you're gonna ask me, I don't know where I'm going yet in the fourth round.
Where are you going?
It's to be confirmed. To be confirmed.
I bet you.
I'll tell you next weekend.
Eastleigh Newport against Manchester United. Yeah, that's where you'll go, John. Or will you go to Spurs, Man City?
It's not confirmed yet.
Well, John, you can choose.
we haven't made the decision yet, Robbie. I'm waiting for the decision to be made.
Why are you getting defensive?
No, I'm just telling you what the situation is.
Don't let him get under your skin, John. You know how he is.
Don't worry.
Have a good one, Robbie.
No danger of that.
Cheers, Robbie. 08085 909 693. You can book your call in now. 606 on the way as soon as we're done here at Old Trafford. We've got the final of the Masters Snooker ongoing between sessions. Jamie Broughton.
And Ali Carter leads Ronnie O'Sullivan by 5 frames to 3 after the opening session of play. They raced through the frames this afternoon, with Carter knocking in 2 centuries as he went on the attack to take the fight to Ronnie O'Sullivan. The 7-time champion also made breaks of 125 and 86, but he knows he needs a fast start tonight if he's to turn this around, as Carter's playing well and is determined to claim a first Triple Crown title. 10 is the target to be crowned champion when play resumes at 7 o'clock. It's live on BBC Two.
Thank Thank you, Jamie. In tennis, Novak Djokovic said it was like playing myself in the mirror after he came through the longest first-round Grand Slam match of his career. That was against teenage qualifier Dino Prismic. If you didn't see that, it was absolutely fascinating. The defending champion needed just over 4 hours in the end to beat the 18-year-old from Croatia by 3 sets to 1. The defending women's singles champion Arina Sabalenka only needed 53 minutes to win her first round match. She beat Ella Seidel in straight sets. British number 2 Jodie Burrage is out, unfortunately. She let a 1-set lead slip on her Australian Open debut. Andy Murray in first round action tomorrow. You can hear commentary of that on Tennis Breakfast on 5 Sports Extra from 6 a.m. And in rugby union, Bath are into the knockout stages of the European Champions Cup for the first time in 9 years. They beat Racing 92 29-25. That's a bonus point win. Saracens are away to Bordeaux from 5:30. La Rochelle hammered Leicester Tigers 45-12. So Leicester therefore are going to have to wait until next weekend to try and confirm qualification. The Tottenham Hotspur players are out here at Old Trafford ready for the second half. We're just waiting for those from Manchester United. Rasmus Højlund scoring that brilliant goal on the day where his nation get a new king. Of course, as we were hearing in the news bulletin there, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has not yet made his way back up here at Old Trafford, but I'm sure he'll be with us very shortly indeed. Second half commentary then as the Manchester United fans greet the return of their players here on 5 Live from Old Trafford with Clinton Morrison and John Murray.
Yes, the new king of Denmark. I'm not sure he'll be paying attention to this, but Rasmus Højlund is just reaching the halfway line as the Manchester United players come out. Red shirts, white shorts, black socks. Clinton Morrison has just pointed out that Daniel Levy is here.
Yeah, he's here
in the director's box as well. All the attention on Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but Daniel Levy also among those in the box to our left, as well as who did we see? Tommy Fury. Luke Littler,
yes.
the ever popular Luke Littler, and
driving. What's he?
George
Russell. There you go. I knew we'd get there in the end.
Yeah.
You can tell me and John are not big on the racing.
I don't mind occasionally.
Yeah.
Anyway, the second half begins. Still plenty of people to take their seats actually all around Old Trafford. Manchester United leading Tottenham by 2-1. 5 Live in the World Service, and Rashford already making a run down the left into the penalty area beyond Romero, but then overrunning it beyond the dead ball line for a goal kick. No changes at the break, so Onana in goal for Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Evans and Dalot. Menu, Eriksson, Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, Højlund, Rashford. Tottenham breaking away. Skip playing it down the left hand side to the Tottenham debutant Timo Werner, the German, into the penalty area for him. Square, Bentancur, lovely left foot shot. What a finish!
God.
Super. Tottenham equalise in the first minute of the second half, and that's some finish from the Uruguayan. Took it into his stride, left foot, bang, 2-2.
And I'm looking to my left, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he hasn't even took his seat yet. So let me tell you, there's a lot of empty seats that we're having at half time, but it's brilliant. It's a good run from Skip. He picks out Timo Werner. And can Timo Werner pick out the right pass? Yes, he can. The touch from Bentancur is fantastic. And once he gets into that position, it's a fantastic finish from Bentancur. Tottenham have missed him when he's been injured all last season, John. He's an outstanding player, but brilliant goal from Tottenham. Oh. Yeah, I think he might be onside. Timo Werner. Yeah, they'll be checking that first pass.
So they're having a look, but Werner, well, he got an assist for that on his debut, but there's still an awful lot for Bentancur to do. Yep. But he laid it into his path as Bentancur arrived on the edge of the penalty area, a touch with his right foot, another little touch as well, and then a flashing finish with his left.
Looking at it, John, I think Johnny Evans would be disappointed. Look, go and engage it, but he just takes that extra touch, Bentancur, and the finish, balls past Onana. But look, he's looking, he's defending, go and engage it. It's difficult.
Yeah, and the Tottenham fans can sing their Bentancur song, which they're doing in the stand to our right. So all square. Manchester United pegged back for a second time in this match. And Bentancur, who's missed so much football this season, he's had 2 spells out with injuries. So this is only his 7th appearance of the season. He weighed in with 6 goals last season, and that's his first of this campaign, and how well taken it was as well. And they sing, the Tottenham fans, they're in great voice now. As Rashford, misplaced pass, crossfield by Tottenham. Rashford though shows too much of it. Heavy touch into the path of Romero, who was then felled by Bruno Fernandes, and it's a free kick to Tottenham. Great start to the second half for Ange Postecoglou and his team.
I said there's more goals, and there's more goals as well. John, we said before this could be 4-3. I said before the start of the game, this is always open. I think Tottenham, the way they play, they'll always score goals and they'll always concede goals, but you're right, great start from Ange.
Yeah, what rubs the salt in the wound is that it's a Manchester City song, isn't it? It's an Oasis song that they sing for Bentancur. He came with his mate from Sweden,
yes.
who's not involved today, Kulusevski, because of illness. But Bentancur has, well, he's almost done a Kulusevski, hasn't he, with a finish like that. Brilliant. Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2. And already we're into the goals in the second half. I reckon 45, 50 seconds of the second half had played when that ball was put in the net. Hadn't even run you through the Tottenham lineup. Vicario in goal. Pedro Porro, Romero, Van de Ven and Udogie, the back four, back together again. In midfield, Hojbjerg with Bentancur and Skip. And then Johnson and Werner either side of Richarlison. And Johnson crossing now towards the back post, and it had to be headed away by Dalot, but it was for Manchester United. Manchester United, who have Martinez and Casemiro on the bench. No Shaw and Maguire today, though, as the ball is played beyond Garnacho, who's frustrated that it rolls out of play, and it's a throw into Tottenham inside their own half, halfway inside their own territory. Yep, Spurs without Lo Celso, he's injured. Davis is injured. Like virtually every team. They've got lengthy injury lists, both Manchester United and, of course, players away at the Africa Cup of Nations.
Yeah, I think when Tottenham get all their players, well, listen, I think Maddison might be back, they're saying, in a couple of weeks, training and stuff, so that would be a big boost. And you're right, getting people like Pape Sarr and Basuma back as well.
Do we assume that when Onana goes off to the Cup of Nations with Cameroon, that it'll be Bayindir, the Turkish player?
Yeah, I think
Tom Heaton is on the bench today as well.
I think it could be Bayindir, definitely.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
Bentancur playing the ball out towards the right-hand side, but it's behind Johnson. So 2-2, and every prospect that we might have more goals in this match. So don't go away. 5 Live on this Premier League Sunday. BBC Sounds as well. Listen to the World Service too. I've had a lovely message from Steve Rosenberg, our Russia editor, who's listening in Moscow as the ball is played forward. Pedro Porro in the box on the right-hand side, swings it right across the field. Werner keeps it in play into the penalty area, tries to cross. In comes the challenge from Dalot to deflect it behind into the stand 4-5 rows back, bobbling around, corner to Tottenham.
Yeah, it's a good little ball around the corner, and Porro, as I said, he doesn't play like a right fullback. None of them do. Him or Udogie play like fullback. He gets into an area, but there's just no one in there. There's only Richarlison in the box. Have to get more bodies. Werner has to lock out the back post, John.
Yeah, and Porro, remember, Tottenham scored from a Porro corner in the first half. So Manchester United have got to keep tabs here on Richarlison. And Richarlison, Van de Ven and Romero are right next to each other, virtually bodies touching just outside the 6-yard box, the three of them in a line. Porro actually takes it short, and Hojbjerg plays it in. Attempted flick, that didn't work, and it's blocked back out of the penalty area. Spurs back to the halfway line to Udogie. Now Christian Romero puts his foot on the ball, goes back to the halfway line. Steve Rosenberg in Moscow reported that it's quite nice today in Moscow, -12. It was -27 yesterday,
and that's why it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's an improvement. Skip turns it, Richarlison low shot, but Onana's able to drop onto that. Didn't get I don't know whether it was a bit of in two minds, wasn't it? Because Johnson was arriving, and in the end it was a sort of weak cross shot that Onana dropped on.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed. The form he's in, he probably should be working Onana a bit more. But I tell you, he's got into this game in the second half a lot more. Is Oliver Skip. He's picking up good pockets at the moment, John.
He is. As Manchester United pegged back by that early goal. Pick up possession. Crossfield pass is headed down by Pedro Porro, and Tottenham have got it back halfway inside their own half. At the Cup of Nations, Egypt have taken the lead against Mozambique, but it's not an early goal for Mo Salah. I'm not sure if he's in the team. I would imagine that he is. Egypt winning 1-0 against Mozambique after Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea drew 1-1. Tottenham attacking down the left-hand side. Werner's born in, takes a touch off Dalot's foot and bounces to Onana. Osimhen scored for Nigeria today. Here's Skip playing it square, but Wan-Bissaka at left back latches onto that, but couldn't find the pass forward to Højlund. And there is frustration in the home stands there that Wan-Bissaka wasn't able to play the pass.
It's a great chance as well, because he's done well to win the ball, but all he has to do is find the space. If he finds the space, he'll get in.
Yes, if you weren't listening in the first half, that was one of the surprises from Erik ten Hag. Wan-Bissaka playing at left back and Dalot at right back. So Dallow's up against Werner and Wan-Bissaka against Brennan Johnson. 2-2. Spurs with Christian Romero. He's back in the team after 3 matches out with a hamstring injury. Hojbjerg to Pedro Porro, who plays it into Wan-Bissaka, and it bounces back off the Manchester United defender and for a throw to Tottenham. Hojbjerg takes back to Romero, and the ball actually comes to a stop at his feet. Pass to the left-hand side to Van der Ven. Now here's Werner, black gloves on. Timo Werner. Then Spurs back with Romero on the halfway line. The lines are open for 606, by the way. The 5 live phone in 08085 909 693. The number to book your call to speak to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Robbie sounded in good form at half-time. Here's Wan-Bissaka, wins the ball back from Johnson. Gives the ball to the left-hand side here to Rashford, but Pedro Porro blocks the ball. Richarlison's up against Eriksen, went down very easily.
I don't get that. So the referee gives it, he's 10 yards away, and I do think it's a foul, maybe. The linesman's 2 yards away and he doesn't even put his flag up, John.
Tiny. I mean, there were hands on the body from Eriksen on Richarlison, but whether that was enough to make Richarlison drop to the turf in the way that he did, I doubt. But it's a free kick, and a free kick to Tottenham in a good position here in the Manchester United left back area. This would be a real shock, wouldn't it, if Tottenham snatched the lead here? You wouldn't bet against it.
No, you wouldn't, with the delivery of Porro and the way they've been a threat from set pieces. You're right, John.
So the referee runs away and leaves Pedro Porro to it. The yellow ball, the mainly yellow ball, just in front of the sprayed white line. Garnacho is the one-man wall. Porro, there's the signal. Ball comes in right-footed, but it's headed up and away, back out towards the corner flag, and out for a corner by Bruno Fernandes. So a corner for Tottenham, just underneath where the Tottenham fans are up there on their feet, hailing Pedro Porro. The Tottenham number 23 just wipes his hands on the back of his lily white Tottenham shorts. Pedro Porro, little steps to the edge of the 6-yard box. That's headed away by Evans for Manchester United, and then further away by Garnacho on the edge of the box. Hojbjerg takes the ball and gives it back to the halfway line where Udogie is there, and Spurs actually are going to go all the way back to Vicario at the other end. Great quotes from Vicario. I don't know whether you've read them today. His interview in advance of this game, the Tottenham goalkeeper, long and right-footed downfield from him. Eriksen lifts it forward for Manchester United, but Højlund, as Clinton Morrison says, in an offside position. Yes, Guglielmo Vicario said, "I'd have cut myself and signed in blood for Tottenham if that's what it would have taken to get here."
Fair play.
Passionate. Stereotypically
one
Italian.
way to win over the fans and everyone.
Yeah,
I like it.
Here's Bentancur, who scored to make it 2-2 in the second half. Eriksen steps in, touches it out of play, doesn't agree with the decision, says he feels that it came off Bentancur, but it is a throw-in to Tottenham, just down in front of us, down to our right. Here we are in our usual position, just to the right of the director's box, the star-studded director's box. Pedro Porro waiting to take this throw. Richarlison up against Varane. Here's the ball in towards him. Richarlison turns against Varane, plays it off the French defender, and it bounces behind, and it's another Tottenham corner.
I tell you what, he's done well today, Richarlison, playing up there by himself. He's won free kicks, he's battled, he's won corners, the ball's sticking when it comes up to him. He looks really confident at the moment, John.
He does. Richarlison scored his 8th goal for Tottenham this season, Richie as they call him. Pedro Porro with this corner from the right-hand side. Manchester United have mainly defended in the, almost 12 minutes now of the second half that we've had. Pedro Porro again waits with this set-piece delivery into the edge of the 6-yard box. Bentancur was underneath it. It was headed up by Evans, though, who was right behind him. Well won in the air by Johnny Evans. Bounces behind, and it's another corner. Already their 3rd of the second half. And so it's a packed 6-yard box. Bentancur is closest to goalkeeper Onana. He's just leaning with his hands on his knees. But Van der Ven's in there as well, of course. Here's the delivery. It's deep this time. Werner on the volley, hooks it goalwards, but over the bar by probably 1.5 yards or more. Goal kick.
Yeah, it would have to have been a fantastic finish to score from there. It's a great ball in, but he's going back, but he's unlucky, to be fair.
And that is the first change coming up. And with his team brought back to 2-2, Erik ten Hag has decided that's it for Christian Eriksen, who's another one who's been missing recently because of illness, so that's probably a factor. And the Tottenham fans applauding Eriksen as he leaves the field. He was so popular, wasn't he, when he was a Tottenham Hotspur player?
Top player at Tottenham, one of the best that's ever played at Tottenham in my eyes. He was fantastic.
Yeah, and probably got his best years of his career, I think you would say. Over 300 appearances for Tottenham. Christian Eriksen off and Scott McTominay on. An excellent work from Højlund for Manchester United, away from Van der Ven, plays it into the near post. And Udogie and Vicario between them, arriving at the same time. I think it's the defender who got the touch to put it wide and behind for a corner.
I've never seen Van der Ven get done like that, so I'm going to give him credit that he's been out for a long time and he don't want to overstretch, but good play from Højlund and good defending from Udogie.
Well, that's what Manchester United needed. It's been all Tottenham so far in the second half, but Højlund carrying the ball downfield and forcing the corner that Bruno Fernandes is waiting to take, just next to the tunnel. In comes the ball to the back post. It's gone beyond everyone and dropped beyond the far post and bounced through for a goal kick, and that is very much a wasted opportunity. So Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2. The score remains. Lines open for 606 on 08 085 909 693. Hashtag BBC 606. You can text 85058. Tottenham with the ball in the centre of the field, and then Højbjerg steps onto this. Excellent challenge though from the newly arrived McTominay. It fell low to Tottenham. Bentancur to the right hand side to Johnson, whose cross comes off the shins of Wan-Bissaka, and it's another corner to Tottenham at the end to our right.
It's just end to end the game. Like Man United, you go on attack, and then Tottenham, you have a ball for 10 minutes, and then Man United try and play on a counter attack. But they're defending these set pieces really well, Man United are.
They are, but they have to. So Porro again, right-sided delivery. Christian Romero just arrives on the edge of the 6-yard box. He headed against the crossbar in the first half, Romero. Pedro Porro deep one to the back post. That's headed away by Varane. He was underneath it for Manchester United. It comes out to Udogie. Udogie back to Pedro Porro. Bentancur now. Bentancur swings it into the near post, but Andre Onana comes, catches it right in front of his eyes, fingers pointing up, and then scampers to the edge of the box where Richarlison just stands in his way. So Manchester United have to go out along the ground to Wan-Bissaka.
I see. Sorry to interrupt, John. I think Martinez is going to come on. I literally think he's getting his clothes and getting instructions. He is coming on. I didn't think they'd risk him, but he must be ready to come and play.
Yep, must be. Diogo Dalot sends a ball over the top down the right-hand side to Garnacho, and then Van der Ven slides in, goes to ground, but he was confident he was going to get there, which he did, and tackled it out of play for a throw down the right-hand side. We're not really seeing Garnacho, who's come out second best against Udogie so far today, and that was unusual there to find himself in a position where he actually could burst down the wing. 2-2 remains the score. 5 live in the World Service from the BBC. Bruno Fernandes. Wan-Bissaka takes it up to the edge of the area. Crucial challenge. McTominay shoots wide. Right-footed, edge of the area. A little bit of an angle, but shot wide of the foot of the left post.
Yeah, he gets in a nosebleed kind of position, Wan-Bissaka, and the edge of the box, and it's a good tackle on him if he's in on goal, and then McTominay drags it. It's a good opportunity for Scott McTominay because he can strike a clean football.
He can, and you're right, Clinton. Manchester United are going to make that second change. So whether someone has a problem,
Johnny Evans, or do you think he put? Yeah, Johnny Evans. Oh, he can't say he's going to take off Wan-Bissaka and put Martinez at left back, are you, against Johnson? So it must be Johnny Evans.
Okay.
That's the only one I can think of, unless there's a problem. I don't know.
We've got a stoppage. Wan-Bissaka rather slid in on a challenge there and conceded a free kick. And are we going to see the change now, Martinez? Waiting to come onto the field. Looks like he's got a new haircut. His hair is slicked back. He's got it shaved very short at the sides. And the number is Johnny Evans. So I think that might be the answer, Clinton, to the question that we were asking in the first half.
Exactly, yeah.
And Johnny Evans is just talking to Eric Ten Hag, who's got a grey woolly hat on, dressed for winter. And it looks as though Johnny Evans, judging by that conversation, Johnny Evans might have been feeling something.
Yeah, definitely. And listen, it gets the fans up. Look, that's the biggest cheer we've heard all afternoon. Martinez coming on, and they sing their song Argentina, Argentina.
Here's Garnacho on the right-hand side, another Argentine international. On the overlap, Dolo with the cross, but Vicario comes and catches that, arms stretched up above his head, and has got the ball down to give it out. The other thing is, Johnny Evans has been quite a presence aerially inside the penalty area when it's come to set pieces. So here we are, Varane and Martinez back together finally. Martinez, who's been out for 4 months. Lisandro Martinez, another of the Argentine World Cup winning squad, had a foot operation in September. That's why he's been out for all of this time. The score, Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2. And the highlights on Match of the Day tonight, Match of the Day 2. So Mark Chapman will be preparing for that. You can watch it anytime on the iPlayer, of course, all of the Match of the Days. Read about it all on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. And then the analysis in the morning, 5 Live Football Daily podcast. Bentancur, we'll be talking about him after his excellent finish down the right-hand side for Johnson. Johnson now crosses it, but over everyone inside the penalty area, and it bounces all the way out to the far side where Garnacho is actually beaten to it by Udogie, who did exceptionally well. Takes it into the box. Garnacho challenges back on Udogie, who went down. Half a shout for a penalty for Tottenham there, but he did get the ball, Garnacho, in the challenge, and he had to, and now it's taken away and put out of play by Dalot near the halfway line.
He looked for that, and Doggy. He knew, he thought, let me just go across him and try and get a bit of contact. So, yeah, I think the referee makes the right decision.
So it's out of play for a throw to Tottenham. And Skip with a touch. Ooh, in steps McTominay to win it back. He had to be careful there with where he was treading, but he was. Højlund then lifts one over the top for Rashford to chase. Pedro Porro's back in position. Rashford beats him. No, Porro just gets a foot in on that, and then Christian Romero helps him out. Rashford goes to ground and Tottenham bring the ball away.
I must say it's brilliant defending from Pedro Porro and Romero to get back and help him out, but he holds up Marcus Rashford. But they think there was a foul there because Doggy was down for a couple of minutes. I think he thought he got fouled by McTominay, but brilliant defending from Porro and Romero.
Well, he did have to, as I said at the time, have to step carefully in McTominay with Doggy on the ground. And, VAR might be having a little look on that. It depends where he stepped in.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I'm saying because, they're not showing it. They're just showing the replay at the moment on the TVs here. But, yeah, it was good defending. I thought Rashford was going to take him there, John, one-on-one. But Porro did ever so well. Yeah,
he did. So a little bit of treatment through Doggy. Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2. It's twice swung to Manchester United. Højlund scored early in the first half. What do you think? You've just seen McTominay stepping in.
He doesn't catch him. He might catch him, but it's not high up where you're worried. Yeah, not intentionally. Yeah.
So Højlund opening the scoring in the first half. Richarlison headed the equaliser from the corner. Marcus Rashford put Manchester United back in front with his first goal at Old Trafford this season. His 4th for the club in this current campaign. But then right at the start of the second half, Timo Werner on his debut laid the ball into Bentancur, who finished superbly actually, the Uruguayan, to make it 2-2, and that's the way the score stands. Udogie still receiving treatment. 5 Live Football Daily podcast in the morning. Subscribe for free from BBC Sounds. The Transfer Gossip Daily is on there as well. Throughout the month of January, and we were talking about the Patrick Bamford goal in the FA Cup last weekend. You can hear him talk about it with Joe Wilkinson on the My Mate a Footballer podcast, all available from BBC Sounds, where of course lies all live BBC radio, most importantly.
I think me and you would be good on something like that, John. You have that Antonio and Callum Wilson. I think we'd be good. What do you think?
What's the one Jordan North does?
Yeah, what does he do?
The sort of combination.
Yeah, I think it's a good combination.
Yeah, the unlikely combination.
Good cop, bad cop. You're the good cop, the bad cop.
Jack Whitehall and his dad.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that. Yeah.
I could tell that's what you think. Yeah. I think Udogie's okay. He's back on his feet. He received treatment. Yep, he's trotting back onto the pitch now. Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2. And here is Wan-Bissaka on the left-hand side. Ball rolls all the way into the edge of the box. In steps Højbjerg, And now Bentancur. Bentancur taps it back to the edge of the penalty area to Van de Ven. And then Tottenham will give it again back to Hotspur, whose attitude, I must say, seems excellent this season when he's not been a regular starter. Hotspur, he's had to convince Postecoglou. Good ball across field from Pedro Porro. Here's Werner. Werner bursting into the box against Dalot, takes him on. Dalot steps in, got a foot on it, blocked it behind for a corner.
Yeah, good defending from Dalot, because he's thinking, don't let him engage and come into the box. But once he comes into the box, he defends ever so well.
Just the way the match is, Tottenham are having much more of the possession in this second half. It's 2-2, and I feel Old Trafford, there's an unsettled feeling.
It's like they're waiting, aren't they? Waiting for something to happen. Tottenham score or Man United,
I would say it feels like they're fearing the worst.
Worse, exactly.
That's what I think. Corner, Pedro Porro. Here's the signal again, packed 6-yard box, and Nana on his line. In it comes, headed away, stretching header away. I think McTominay driven back in by Skip, took a deflection right across the penalty area, but Werner knew that it had come off a Manchester United man, so allowed it to bounce away. It was McTominay who was in there in the middle to get the header away.
Yeah, listen, what Man United have done well in the second half, not so much first half, is they've got the first contact, and the first contact's been really well because the balls in from Porro are outstanding.
So he's come all the way across from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, the Spanish international. Former Manchester City man, actually. He was there as he was making his way in his early days. Pedro Porro with the outswinger this time. Bentancur with a header. He was blocked on the edge of the 6-yard box. He just a glance on it, and there was a Manchester United man behind him. I think it was on target, though, from Bentancur, and then a slip near the halfway line from Hotspur, which means it's out of play for Manchester United. Throw, and they didn't take it quickly. Garnacho could have done, but Tottenham are quickly back in position.
Should have just thrown it. I think Højlund was in and Tottenham weren't getting back. They hadn't recovered after the Højbjerg slip.
Clinton, Robbie Savage was talking at half-time about Tottenham's high line, and what that's meant for the game, but it's actually not been a factor at all in the second half, because most of the match has been played in the Manchester United half.
You're right, and they can't get hold of the ball, Man United, so Tottenham can have that high line, and they can have the players who can cause problems like Garnacho and Rashford, but if you can't get the hold of the ball in midfield, which they can't do, then you're not going to be able to exploit that.
Tottenham's possession is currently 64% in the match, according to the...
That's in the match. I think this half it could be even higher.
It'll be higher.
Yeah, you're right.
Romero playing the ball back to Hotspur. And now here's Pedro Porro again. Infield, Bentancur, first time touch to Johnson, just beyond him. I feel like Johnson might have been able to gamble for that, but Martinez back in the action was quick in, took the ball away, and gets the applause from the Manchester United supporters just down in front of us in the Bobby Charlton stand.
Yeah, he's like having a new signing back, isn't he? When he's been brilliant for Man United every time I've seen him play, so it's like having a new signing and having him back. Hopefully he can stay fit from now to the end of the season.
Martinez, yeah, that's what Eric Ten Hag's been talking about, hasn't he, when the difficult questions have come about getting the players back, and I think he would be pretty close to the top of the...
Oh, he probably would be the top, wouldn't he, John?
Of the list that Ten Hag wanted back from injury. Here's Romero with the ball on the halfway line. Locked at 2-2. Johnson comes, flicks the ball out to Hotspur. Hotspur looks infield, plays it, comes off Wan-Bissaka, bounces for Manchester United. Menu leaves it for McTominay, but Tottenham have got the ball back. Bentancur, Hotspur. Romero is closed down by Højlund on the halfway line. As I think I heard Eric Ten Hag down on the touchline calling for his team to get out.
Yeah, someo's shouting get out. It's either him or it's fans
it's
saying
either him
get out.
or Steve McLaren, or I don't know who it is. Foul on the halfway line on Rashford, who was coming back from an offside position though, so it's a free kick to Tottenham.
Yeah, he's coming, and that's what we say about the high line, but you got to get back on side to be able to make that run in behind.
And Rashford has just stayed down for the moment. Eric Ten Hag puts his hand on his chin just to see how Rashford is. To say he was in an offside position, but then came back into his own half as the ball was played. So that was the initial offence before Van de Ven actually put in the challenge. But he's okay. He doesn't need treatment. And Pedro Porro helpfully gives him a hand to get back to his feet. Marcus Rashford. Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2, with less than 20 minutes to play. And Romero waits to take this free kick. And still we wait. And they have taken it back. What are they complaining? What's the referee? The referee saying ball was rolling?
No, he was telling them to hurry up and blow the whistle. And then when they did take it, he blew it and he said hurry up. But they'd already taken it. He was just being busy, John. Yes, sorry.
Over
nicest. Yeah, over fussy. That's a better word. Yeah.
As Tottenham take it back to Vicario. And Vicario, all in almost Manchester City blue, passes the ball out to Romero, low over the halfway line to Pedro Porro, and then Hotspur is challenged. Højlund did well there actually against Hotspur, forced the mistake. Ball played forward by Rashford, but it bounces all the way through to Vicario on the edge of his penalty area.
Yeah, it's nearly a great ball from Bruno Fernandes. I see what he's done. Højbjerg's, see with me, when I watch him in midfield, he can't get around like he used to be able to in that midfield, and I think that's why he doesn't play under Ange, because he wants to play high tempo. That's why it's usually someone like a Basuma and Sarr. He's done all right this afternoon because they've dominated possession, but it's his recovery runs, John.
Yeah, he'll play an important part, though, I would have thought, for the Danish squad
definitely.
At the Euros. In England's group, Højbjerg and Eriksen off the field now, and Højlund up front as well. Here's Skip. You'll be able to hear 5 Live, the place to listen to Euro 2024. Here is Richarlison now to the right hand side, then back to Pedro Porro again, who will go back. And Manchester United are so passive.
Yeah, you look, when they're going to close down, it's like individuals.
Skip then finds Johnson, whose ball crosses straight at Onana. Poor.
He's got to do better, John, when he gets into them situations, Johnson, because if he's in a red shirt of Nottingham Forest, he's squaring up Martinez and picking Richarlison out there.
Yeah, and then there's a foul by Johnson on Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, Johnson, it's lack of end product, isn't it, from him? Just the one goal so far. And you're absolutely right, Clinton, when we saw you and I together for Forest last season, he was
frightening.
Yeah, he was.
That's what got him his move, how he was playing.
But the way things are, once Kulusevski comes back, you would think it would be Johnson's place that would be in doubt. Long ball forward from Onana, but Udogie was underneath that, comfortably ahead of Garnacho, and then Udogie passes it infield after good work again for Spurs on the far side. Udogie's taken up a position on the halfway line, as he loves to do.
It's great football.
Excellent from Bentancur as well. Passes the ball into the centre circle and then overhit actually by Porro from a central position. Otherwise, I mean, that could have been a magnificent move for Tottenham.
Yeah, Ange's clapping his hands, and he was clapping his hands. He was happy with that. It's just a final ball from Porro, but great football from Tottenham.
2-2, 5 Live in the World Service. Lines open for 6:06 as Rashford passes the ball forward, but bounces over Højlund and all the way through to Vicario, who takes that quite calmly. So yes, 08 085 909 693 to join in the conversation with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Here is Højbjerg again in the centre circle, passes the ball through onto the left hand side to Werner, who's offside. So you can already begin to take a note of how many times he's been offside for Tottenham. I think Steve Crossman to our left was suggesting maybe he wasn't offside. Did Clinton use something?
Yeah, I saw him. I think Crossy's 2 yards that side. I was right in line with it. He was just offside.
Foul by Garnacho on the far side. And I'm going to go with you, Clinton, when we've seen the replay. 15 minutes to play. Are we going to have a point apiece here, or will there be more goals? Spurs with Højbjerg putting Menu under possession, but out for a throw into Manchester United.
You know the thing with Spurs, John, they can't really make any changes. If you look at it, there's a lot of youngsters and defenders, and Hill's probably the only attacking option who they can bring on who can make a difference.
What about Manchester United? What can they do?
Well, they've got Anthony on the bench.
Anthony?
Surely you need a goal, you bring on someone who you paid over 80 million for, John. I know he's had no goals, no assists.
You need a goal, so you bring on the man who's neither scored nor assisted.
It might happen today.
Today might be the day.
Might be the day.
Might be the day. But Garnacho's not been able to get into the game in the way that Manchester United would have wanted or expected.
Young Pellistri, I like him. He's exciting.
Varane chipping the ball away from the edge of his own penalty area. Now this could be something for Manchester United. Dalot, here is Garnacho up against Udogie. Udogie retreating. Garnacho swings it across the 6-yard box. Porro got a touch to that. I mean, Rashford wasn't exactly behind him, but Pedro Porro didn't know and just touches it behind for corner.
That's where, you know, if Rashford's got that where he wants to score goals, he has to get in at that back post. Has to get in at that back post and lock it off. And that's where you get your cheap goals and your 6 and 7 goals a season.
Corner for Manchester United. I think Brian Hill is going to come on for Timo Werner. That's what we've been told.
They listen to us.
Here is the corner for Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United. It's a deep one, and Garnacho was lining himself up for a Garnacho special there, but didn't make contact on it. Udogie did enough to put him off, actually, and then Udogie and Garnacho together, tackles back, and the Tottenham man wins the ball, and Garnacho's left on the ground.
Yeah, he's had his number all game. He's been outstanding. And great hold-up play from Richarlison.
Like Udogie.
Yeah.
In the left-back position, Richarlison. Suddenly he's become an all-round star. Ball playing over the top. Oh, Johnson, lovely flick. Onana, though, is able to come forward and very calmly take the ball as it bounced up. But the flick took him away from Menu, and he was almost in for what would have been something really special.
Yeah, it would have been good. It was good starting position for Onana.
He would have made you eat your words there,
yeah,
Clinton.
Definitely.
Just over 10 minutes to go. 2-2 the score. And Rashford challenged by Romero, who was in on the challenge with Bruno Fernandes, and now Bentancur. Fernandes wins the ball back with real determination, swings the ball across the box, and Udogie as it bounces up. New Garnacho is there, and Udogie sensibly just headed it down and behind. Corner, Manchester United.
Do you see what gets the crowd going, John? A bit of fight, a bit of determination, making a tackle, closing down from Bruno, and the whole crowd start lifting.
But there's been all too little.
You're right, John, it's too passive. You've got to do that for the whole 90 minutes.
Corner though to Manchester United. Dalot races over there into that corner. Manchester United coming into this match mid-table, 9th place in the Premier League.
Wow, 9th.
Corner, Dalot outswinging to the back post, is headed, glance headed, and in fact a foul is given for the challenge by, I think, McTominay on the edge of the box. Yeah, it was Richarlison he was up against, and it is a free kick to Tottenham on the edge of their own 6-yard box. And boos from the Stretford end to our left, and it is the end of Timo Werner's Tottenham debut. Played on the left-hand side, up front, on loan from RB Leipzig. The Tottenham fans applaud him. They've given him the seal of approval. What do you think, Clinton Morrison?
Yeah, I think he's done well in the second half. I thought first half he had some good opportunities where one of them he should have hit the target, but I think he's done well. Yeah, for debuts he's done okay.
He's done nothing that we weren't expecting.
Exactly, John. It's not like he's come back a different player. It's the same Timo Werner from Chelsea.
He's been in the game,
causing problems with his pace.
Yeah. He's been caught offside a couple of times.
Yep.
Had chances, good chance in the first half.
You're right.
That he pulled wide, well wide. So Timo Werner, let's see what Ange Postecoglou can do with him in the coming months. Tottenham's next match, it's the cup tie, it's the Manchester City cup tie on the Friday night. Tottenham lose possession. Rashford is onto this in his own half, feeds Garnacho, lovely change of feet from Garnacho, then slips it through to Rashford, who couldn't take it into his stride, and it just ran all the way through for Vicario.
Yeah, it was a poor layoff. It's probably the only layoff he's done bad all day is Richarlison, and Rashford was in, played it to Garnacho, but as you say, he couldn't get the touch. They got back really well, Tottenham, in their numbers.
Yeah, there were two defenders either side of Rashford, and he took it on his left foot and just tried to touch it past, I think, Van der Ven, but actually got too much on it, and it ran through to Vicario.
Yeah.
So we're into the last 10 minutes now. 606 waiting for your calls. 08 085 909 693 on this Sunday night. The tennis will be back on 5 Live every morning.
Is coming on. He's just been called back.
The Romanian Radu Dragushin.
Yep, he's just been called back.
Bayern Munich wanted him. Tottenham got him from Genoa in Italy. he'll be on shortly. Here's Johnson running at Wan-Bissaka, left foot shot blocked across the box. Hill is after this, but Dalot got there first for Manchester United. Comes out to Garnacho, Udogie again. I mean, he's been so tight together, and concedes the throw on the far side.
Yeah, he has. He's not let him get a run, has he? And Garnacho's been causing all kinds of fullbacks problems in the Premier League this year.
Well, if Ange Postecoglou in the build-up to this game said to Udogie, I want to see you right next to
Garnacho
all game,
and he's definitely done that.
He has done it.
Yep.
Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2, and Radu Dragushin is being prepared for Tottenham as the ball bounces all the way through. Richarlison and Hill involved in a combination there together, and it bounced away from Richarlison but off a Manchester United body, I think McTominay, and it's another corner to Spurs from the left hand side. And Dragushin is going to come on for Oliver Skip.
Oh, it's Skip. I knew it was someone in midfield. I knew it was. Ooh, can he play in there? Would they go to a free? We'll have to wait and see.
I've got him down as having played in central defence or as a right back.
Oh, maybe Porro goes in there. Who knows?
Corner then. Porro takes it in, a little glance from Bentancur, bounces down away from Menu. Control and clearance on the edge of the box by Garnacho to the halfway line. And now Destiny Udogie again for Tottenham, who have controlled the second half, Spurs, without really coming terribly close to getting another goal.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't really created much, even though they've dominated.
Hill now on the right hand side in field towards Pedro Porro, but Rashford is able to win it back, still halfway inside his own half. Lisandro Martinez back to his goalkeeper Onana. This will be his last action. He's played in every match, Onana, so it'll be quite a change this season. The man who took over from David De Gea when he's away with Cameroon. Ball out to the right hand side to Garnacho, who waves his way infield and then right-footed finds a pass that bounces up onto the chest of Rashford. He's got it down now. He goes past Johnson. Porro into the challenge just outside the box, and it's a free kick. Porro says, who? Me? A free kick. Points at his own chest, but referee Brooks was certain.
Yeah, he was. I think it's a hard one until you see it again, because I didn't think he was going to give the decision, but he's saying it's shoulder to shoulder. I think he just leans on Marcus Rashford, and he's waiting for the contact. He is waiting.
Right, Tottenham are going to make the change now, while Rashford and Manchester United prepare for this free kick in a good position. The score 2-2. Oliver Skip coming off, and here's another new name for Tottenham. This 21-year-old, highly rated Romanian international central defender Radu Dragushin, signed for somewhere over £20 million from Genoa in Italy. Former Juventus youngster, so was involved with Kulusevski and Bentancur when he was coming through, and he takes up a position inside the penalty area.
I don't know if I want to come on straight away when we've got a free kick in a dangerous position and you're at the front post.
Dark hair tied up in a little bun on his head. Free kick. Bruno Fernandes waiting to take this. A two-man wall. This is in the Tottenham right back area, this free kick. And Spurs, a line being held right across the edge of their 6-yard box. Bruno Fernandes waits. The Manchester United captain comes up and strikes this in, comes off ahead one of the two players in the wall, I think Pedro Porro, which took it right away into the opposite full-back position and out for a throw-in to Manchester United. Throw-in that will be taken by Dalot. It's going to be left sensibly by McTominay for Dalot to take this, which he does, back to Menu. Kobbie Menu, who's become a bit of a mainstay, hasn't he, in this Manchester United team. Sixth consecutive start for the 18-year-old. Out to the right-hand side, Dalot's ball into the box, but that just bounces up for Vicario to catch. Less than 5 minutes to go, still 2-2. And whether it stays like this, whether we might see another goal, I'm not sure.
I can see Anthony's getting on, so he might prove us wrong.
He might make you eat your words as well. There's Dragushin, so he seems to have slotted in.
Yeah, they're going to a free at the back, John, and Porro will go as a wing back.
Yeah, so is the right-sided central defender. Ball through, here's Udogie. Garnacho slid in, he didn't prevent it reaching Udogie. Now Hill with the ball across. Manchester United clear. Wan-Bissaka raced in there, got there ahead of Johnson, and actually with that clearance, which was just a whack downfield, he very nearly played it into the path of Garnacho.
Oh, he's struggling. Van der Veen.
Van der Ven's gone down. Problem for the Dutch defender. Well, this is a blow for him and for Spurs. If this is an injury, having only just come back to start in this match after his latest spell out, and he's
got
sitting
cramp.
down.
It looks like he's got cramp.
So it might not be
I think
too
they're
bad.
stretching it. Yeah, he's got cramp. And listen, you probably would get cramp, wouldn't you? You've been out for a long time, so yeah, cramp.
I got cramp in the commentary position at St James's Park yesterday, Clinton.
Did you?
I did.
Is that as tight as this commentary?
No.
I've got cramp at Everton.
Yeah, Everton.
That is tight.
Yeah, tightest. It's Rashford who's off. So he's got his goal today.
Yep.
His first goal at Old Trafford this season, his fourth for Manchester United. Generally today, what do you think, Rashford?
Yeah, bits and pieces. I think the goal will get him confidence moving forward. The goal was well taken. He was really well taken. It's probably the most difficult out of the chances he's had, but he's still not the Marcus Rashford we see last season. But that's a confidence booster, that goal, John.
So is this going to be the day for Anthony? If it is, he hasn't got much time. 2.5 minutes. No goals or assists this season. And Anthony takes up a position on the right. Garnacho comes across to the left. Johnson in an offside position, so it's a free kick to Tottenham, halfway inside their own half.
And I would get Van der Veen off because he's just coming back from injury. You don't want that to go again, John.
Well, he's if it is cramp, which it appears to be, he's okay. Ball played over the top. He's rather hobbling as he goes to head this away to the far side. And here is into the action for the first time in this match. Anthony, that loses possession, and Udogie wins a throw-in off McTominay. And another change for Spurs, who are going to bring on Emerson Royal. And you're absolutely right, Clinton. Van der Ven, Ange Postecoglou has seen that. He does not want to lose him any longer. He's not going to take any risks. And he is hobbling Van der Ven. So Emerson Royal, who has been playing in central defence with the central defenders out, and John Brooks is now telling Van der Ven that he's got to leave the field by the shortest route.
Yeah, he has, but he's gone in. He's got a bit. I hate that rule, but I understand it. Do you know what I mean, John? Because some players do it and waste time. And if my team were losing, I'd be frustrated.
Yes, I can imagine that. So we've got just over a minute of the 90 to play. Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2. And play will resume with a throw-in for Spurs. Emerson Royal on. Like I say, the Australian Open resumes tennis breakfast every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Commentary on Andy Murray on Sports Extra in the morning. And Dallas Cowboys at home to Green Bay Packers on Sports Extra from 9 o'clock tonight in the NFL. Very cold in America overnight. I was hearing on breakfast this morning. The fourth coldest NFL match was played last night.
What was that? What was the temperature? You don't know.
I don't think it was as cold as Moscow.
Okay.
Here's Bentancur on the halfway line. Bentancur goes through one challenge, but Dalot then is able to find the pass to Martinez. Through the middle it goes, and that was a foul centrally on Bruno Fernandes. Now Tottenham are complaining about this, but it is a free kick that's been given. General milling around referee Brooks. 606, Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton waiting for your calls on 5 Live on 08 085 909 693. Book your call now. But a free kick to Manchester United. We're going to have 5 minutes of added time. Bruno Fernandes takes this free kick. Hill got a foot to it, didn't prevent it reaching Anthony on the right hand side. Anthony's cross bounces out of play, closed down for a throw in on the right flank. Anthony himself is going to take it. Bruno Fernandes comes across. He wants the ball. There's real urgency from him. Left-footed ball into the box, a stretch and away from the new man, Dragushin. And then Tottenham play it forward to Richarlison. And now Brian Hill to Bentancur. He scored right at the start of the second half. Bentancur with the outside of his boot to Pedro Porro. Now, as Clinton says, playing as a right wing back. Hill, the Spaniard, turns infield, then turns back out to the right-hand side. Gives it to Pedro Porro, who curls one across invitingly, but Varane was underneath it to head it away.
What a ball that is. It's great defending from Varane. He has to twist his neck, but great ball from Porro.
Throw-in taken by Spurs in these 5 minutes of added time at the end of the second half. Tottenham go back into the centre circle. Not sure they've done enough to deserve winning the game in the second half, despite all of the possession that they've had, Tottenham.
Agreed. They haven't worked Onana enough, John. They have not worked him enough. They've dominated possession but haven't created enough chances, apart from the first minute when Bentancur scored the equaliser.
Now, I think the Manchester United fans, though, I think when they speak to Robbie and Chris, I think again there'll be frustration with how passive the team has been.
Yeah, definitely.
In the second half. Pedro Porro now on the right-hand side. If Tottenham are able to get a draw, they'll be back level on points with Arsenal, just above them in 4th place in the Premier League table. That's what they're getting at the moment. Latest attack breaks down. Wan-Bissaka then takes it forward, and then it's whacked out of play by Pedro Porro. Tried to play it off Wan-Bissaka, but didn't manage to do that. So throw into Manchester United. But it is there, this game. It's there to be snatched by either side.
Yeah, whoever wants it.
Højlund and Rashford scoring for Manchester United. Richarlison and Bentancur for Tottenham. Here's Varane running it forward over the halfway line. Varane passes it slightly behind Dalot, who then plays it into the path of Anthony down the right wing. Anthony does look lively, but with 2 Tottenham men on him. Back it goes to Dalot. Dalot goes round the first man. Here's the cross in, but too close to Vicario, who's able to come forward and on the edge of his 6-yard box reach high and catch it again. Secure again, once again, the Tottenham goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's been good. Whatever he's had to deal with and crosses into the box, he's come and he's claimed it. So yeah, he's had another good afternoon.
Udogie now forward towards the halfway line, as in comes a challenge from Wan-Bissaka. Good challenge to win the ball back from Johnson, who stayed down, and now played forward by Bruno Fernandes. And Garnacho on the left flank now takes on Pedro Porro, then goes down. Referee's not having any of that. He wanted a free kick in the right back area. Referee Brooks not interested. Richarlison
either as well.
No, Richarlison now takes the ball away, gives it to Bryan Hill. Johnson's back on his feet, but he's hobbling quite noticeably. Højbjerg, little ball forward towards Hill. All of that dark hair of his bobbing as he does so. Now back into the centre circle. Out from Dragushin to the left-hand side, and then it comes back to him. Yes, Bayern Munich wanted him, the new number 6, but they got Eric Dyer instead.
What a move from Eric
Wasn't it just?
Dyer. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Harry Kane had nothing to do with that,
John. Well, let's wish him the best, Eric Dyer.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck. I wish him well.
Yeah, dealings I've had with Eric Dyer over the years.
Nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Here's Menu low in towards the edge of the penalty area. Then it comes back. Dalot, still 2-2. 4 minutes. We've just got 1 minute to play. Manchester United might be their first draw at Old Trafford this season. Here's Garnacho on the left-hand side. Right-footed ball in. Header from McTominay over the top. He rose well, but maybe slightly missed time. Couldn't keep it down.
Oh, Johnny, what? It's one probably player you want it to fall to. McTominay's good in the air. I was thinking, did he go too early? Was he in too early, or was he up too early? That's the only thing is, has he jumped too early, John? But I think you explained it brilliantly. It's just the timing of it. It's a great ball from Garnacho, and not one Tottenham player goes with him. And it's a good chance. He should be scoring or hitting the target. He's got to be working Vicario there.
Ball ended up in the Stretford end. Maybe just a foot over the top. And that means it remains Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2, and we are now in the final seconds as Menu overhits his pass forward, and Vicario is able to take the ball at his feet just inside his penalty area and pass it out, and that is the final pass of the match, and it is ended on us all even. And Erik ten Hag and Ange Postecoglou meet on the halfway line. So Tottenham take 4 points off Manchester United this season. Manchester United twice ahead in this match, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe watching for the first time from the director's box, with his company about to buy into Manchester United. So there were smiles all around before the match. But what about this Manchester United performance, Clinton Morrison, first of all?
I think they'll be happy with the draw. I thought they were better in the first half than second half. I thought Tottenham dominated the second half. But you get chances in matches, and McTominay's probably had the best chance of the second half, where he could have won it for them. And that is how football goes. But listen, I think a point's probably a fair result, if I'm thinking about it, because as you said, John, in commentary, Tottenham didn't really work Onana enough, even though they dominated possession. So I think both teams will be reasonably happy coming away with a point each.
Yeah, Tottenham twice coming from behind. Broke a club record today, by the way. Scored in 33 consecutive league matches now. Tottenham Hotspur But they dominated the second half, but couldn't add to the goal that Bentancur scored right at the start of the second period to make it 2-2. So as the players mill around in the centre circle, the final score here at Old Trafford: Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2. And Steve Crossman is on his feet here to our left. Presumably, Steve, giving an eye on Sir Jim.
Yeah, exactly that, John. He's just given a few big smiles to some Manchester United fans around him. He was in conversation with one, and then Sir Alex Ferguson just appeared behind him and gave Sir Jim Ratcliffe a big pat on the shoulder. And just now, in that sort of rust-coloured scarf, he's beginning to make his way down toward the Manchester United fans. And, well, I said earlier, it was like a £40 million signing. Many Manchester United fans taking pictures now, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe is posing for a couple of selfies. Well, I've never seen a Glazer do that, John Murray.
No, that's the truest thing that you've said today, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. So he will disappear beneath us, just as Wayne Rooney does the same thing. I mean, Clinton, let's start with this. For all of the faults that Manchester United have, clearly they could have nicked it in the last minute. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has seen on the pitch exactly what Manchester United are. There was no cracks papered over today.
No, that's Man United all season in a nutshell. But I think they could have lost that game, John. Sorry, Crossy. They could have definitely lost that game. But they hung in there. They defended in their numbers in the second half. A few positives to take. Martinez coming on the pitch. I think that's a huge positive, having him and Varane back together as a pairing. So, yeah, credit to them. They held on for a draw. I thought Tottenham could have been better in the final third in that second half. But that is Man United. And they got players to come back, a few injured players to come back. But that is Man United. And there's a lot of work to be done at this football club.
It was interesting. I was listening to the two of you talk about how passive Manchester United were, and also the fact that Old Trafford just sounded like it was expecting and waiting for something to go wrong. The reason being they've seen it a lot. What I thought was interesting is when Lisandro Martinez came on, he's exactly the kind of player that can kind of get the fans out of that mood, get the crowd going, which in turn can impact the players.
Definitely. It was the biggest cheer of the day we heard when Martinez, and you know what you're going to get from Martinez. He'll tackle everything. He can defend. As I said, I thought he was a brilliant signing. When he first came in, there was question marks about his size. He handles the Premier League easy, and he's been outstanding. So it's like a new signing coming back, and they'll have 3 or 4 others to come back. Luke Shaw, when he comes back, I think they've missed Luke Shaw. I think he'll be brilliant. Even Harry Maguire, who was struggling and then came in and formed a good partnership with whoever he played in centre half. So they have got injured players to come back, but they need a lot of rebuilding.
One more run out for the C word this afternoon: control. John Murray, Manchester United don't have it. We said at half time it's an issue, and it took about 40 seconds for them to show us why again in the second half.
Yeah, and slick stuff from Tottenham, but Manchester United caught cold. Good goal, Werner, on his debut, set it up, laid it into the path of Bentancur. Excellent finish from him, but yeah, absolutely caught cold. Eric Ten Hag, surely, I'm absolutely certain when he comes on to 606 with Robbie and Chris, we'll reference that.
You know what they say, Crossy? This is what they say at half time. First 10 or 15 minutes, teams will come out. Make sure you keep it nice and tight. And they didn't do that. They got caught cold.
Tottenham, could they have been more ambitious in the second half, Clinton?
I think they were trying to be. I just don't think they created enough. And you're looking at it, and they are missing players in that final third. Timo Werner, as John alluded to in commentary, hasn't played a lot of football. He's tired. Brennan Johnson needs a goal at the moment, and the only inform out of the 3 of them up front is Richarlison and Bentancur that can play. If you had thrown in the likes of Maddison, Kulusevski and Son, I think Tottenham would have been out of sight, but they don't have those players available at the moment.
But it's certainly for Manchester United. Again, I know we spoke about it at Anfield after the Liverpool match. I thought the approach there was totally understandable. But, I think all of these people inside Old Trafford want braver football, don't they?
They do.
And Tottenham and Ange Postecoglou come here with a reputation for playing the football that they do.
Well, you know what? John's spot on, because let me tell you something. Eric Ten Hag's been longer at Man United than what Ange has done. And the way Ange and Tottenham tried to play out, taking chances with the brave football, Tottenham fans like that. They know they're going to lose a lot of games, but it's going to be entertaining. I think Man United fans want to be entertained, and that's the biggest problem at the moment.
I think Manchester United fans thought, or let's say hoped, they were going to get the type of football that Ange Postecoglou has brought to Tottenham. That's what they wanted Manchester United to be under Ten Hag.
And why that is a big problem for Eric Ten Hag, Clinton, is he's got this new, person who's in charge of football operations with his 25% stake watching on now. and watching closely. And the things wrong with Manchester United, I don't think they can be changed short term when you look at the way they play.
Oh no, this is a long project. This won't happen overnight. This will take a few years, and it could even take longer to get to Man United where they want to be. It's going to take time. And is Ten Hag, are they going to stick with Ten Hag? Well, I think they will for now. Definitely, I do think they will. I think he is going to need help. Will he get help in this January window? I don't think they will sign anyone. I don't think they will. They just wait to the injured players, and they have to rebuild and go again in the summer. But have to stay in contention for stuff. They have to try and get into Europe, Crossy. As John said in commentary, they're ninth at the moment. Manchester United Football Club in ninth position. It's unheard of, to be fair, but over the last couple of years they've suffered massively, so they have to rebuild, and it's going to take time. But I'm glad the owner was here this afternoon to see what's needed and what's needed to be done.
Yeah, ninth. The lowest they've finished since the Alex Ferguson years ended was 7th in the first season after. So ninth, not good enough.
No, absolutely. John Clinton, thank you very much indeed. Very interesting game, that. Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2, in front of the new part owner, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, for the first time this afternoon. There's lots to talk about from this. I'm sure you'll be getting your calls in right now to speak to Robbie Savage.